ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Root to steady and finish.
It's close to the goal line and Marty got there.
Another one.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
Brandy from 55 and right on the way home. Huge bend off and kicks the goal. The skipper off a step finishes.
Take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Right foot strike. He's got it. Oh, the home fans like that. Takes a bounce. Unguarded. Goal square. He's got it. Reed's going to go for goal. Oh, my goodness. That truly is remarkable.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
On radio, on digital and on the ABC Listen app.
You take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
It's North at home in the West. This the second of two games the Kangaroos sold to WA in 2025 and the first of 3 years that this deal will play out. They face a Fremantle side not used to having Perth Stadium as an away venue. Fremantle started the round in the eights, but wins so far to GWS and the Bulldogs have seen them slip to ninth. So a vital game tonight up against North Melbourne here in Perth. They won 3 straight games, the Dockers, heading into the bye. And this is in the middle of what is a gap or a run of 33 straight days where they won't have to get on a plane. So imperative for Fremantle and their finals aspirations to pick up as many games as they can without having to leave the state. They've got North Melbourne, of course, tonight, and then Essendon and St Kilda to come. If they can win all 3, 2025 really does beckon as a big year for Fremantle. But first, they have to somehow find a way to get past the Kangaroos, who'll be buoyed by a win in Bunbury last week against a very errant West Coast Eagles side. North getting home by 10 points for what was, at the time, just their 3rd win of the season. No late changes. Nat Fyfe is the sub for Fremantle. Robbie Hanson Jr., the sub for North Melbourne. Clint Wilton with you in commentary. Mitch Turner alongside me. Mitch, good to see you.
Great to be back here, Clint, at Perth Stadium after a little road trip down to Bunbury. We're a week removed from that game and I still don't really know what to think of it. Did North Melbourne steal it? Should they have been more in the game earlier than that, given some of the numbers they dominated? I'm not sure what to make of it. But they'd want to make a nice fist of this against Fremantle today, who have shown in the past, and they would hate to admit it, they can be gettable at times that you wouldn't expect them to be. So looking forward to see what North Melbourne can produce in front of their West Australian fans and all others that have come along.
Reasonable crowd coming in at the moment, somewhere in the vicinity of 28,000. I would have thought it's just slightly more than we've seen in recent WAFL Grand Finals. I know Fremantle are hoping for a minimum of 30. If they get 35, they'll be absolutely thrilled. This is the second time that Fremantle have had what is an away game that they've helped purchase. The other time was when they hosted the Gold Coast back in 2018. 33,388 turned up that day, and they're still continuing to roll in with Bounce Down not too far away. Our experts tonight, former AFLW captain of the Fremantle Dockers and All-Australian Cara Antonio, and alongside her, someone with a foot in both camps. I speak of dual North Melbourne Premiership player and former Dockers captain Peter Bell. Welcome to you both.
Thank you, Clint, Mitch, Belly. Looking forward to this one. Fremantle obviously fresh off the bye, and as you mentioned, Clint, coming off 3 wins, couple on the road, which will give him a little bit of confidence, some fresh legs coming into tonight. For me, before I throw over to Belly, I'm really interested in the ruck battle tonight. Cherry's been obviously in some fantastic form. And how kind of Freo managed that with Jackson and Darcy. We've seen Jackson play a little bit of a rover midfielder role when Darcy's gone in. So I'm going to sit back and watch that one unfold, I think, tonight, Belly.
I think that's the duel that everyone's going to be watching with Sean Darcy, really a trio, isn't it? And fascinating to see the mix that Fremantle approached that ruck contest with. But, yeah, Cherry's the All-Australian ruckman, in my opinion. He was Very, very good last week against West Coast. He does get a lot of clean possession out of the ruck and get kicks forward and win his own clearances. Wins a lot of ground ball, similar to Luke Jackson. Jackson's a better player around the ground, and we saw Fremantle experiment with him as a midfielder against Gold Coast, and he had a lot of impact, and I think that is certainly something that he can grow in his game. And I mentioned that if you were a young mid and in your third or fourth go at it, you ended up having 30 possessions like Luke Jackson did, everyone would be pretty excited about what he could do as an inside mid. But the fact that he's a ruckman is a bonus. So looking forward to that one. The other one, you'd expect Nick Larkey to bounce back after he was beaten last week by Harry Edwards. He performed really well for West Coast. So Jade Rawlings on Sports Talk this morning confirmed the obvious matchup that will be Brennan Cox, who's also been doing a good job. So North Melbourne have a strong midfield. They're a good clearance team. Fremantle are more than just a clearance team now. They've added some layers to their game. The elephant in the room, I suppose, as much as the club doesn't want to talk about it, they've lost their last 3 off buys the last 3 years. So how will they deal with that? I think it could be more about who they played and where. It's not a massive sample size. So we'll see if they can prepare well, or they have prepared well and got their mind back on task for this game against North.
How big an out is Charlie Comben, given they've got a Josh Tracy match up there and a Jai Amos and, of course, Patrick Voss, the Dockers?
Well, he's a massive out because he's a massive man for a start, and Griffin Logan, Toby Pink are not. So they bring in Callan Dawson for reinforcement, but Comben had been in good form as well. So that looks really threatening. And because of that, Cara, I thought that Fremantle might play Luke Jackson a little bit more forward as well. I know they got Voss and Amos and Tracy, but if it's fine, then maybe they might try and stretch for moments in the games what is an undersized North Melbourne defence.
Yeah. And the other one for me as well, Shea Bolton, I feel like he's coming into some form over the last kind of 3 to 4 weeks. He kicked the 3 goals, had 20 touches against Gold Coast on the road, and I know we've been speaking about it over the last couple of weeks, but just his forward pressure in the forward half of the ground, he's the barometer up there. But having him, I suppose, to be able to put through the midfield with a bit of dash and speed adds different layers to the Fremantle midfield as well.
Yeah, and when he's forward, I was struggling really to find the matchup for him. Maybe it'll be Luke McDonald, I'm not sure, but you just need to have unbelievable communication between the mid and the forward when Shea Bolton's going up playing mid, because he'll run around as a mid and then sure enough he'll slip forward at some stage, and if you don't get the right handover, he can find himself with a lot of space either forward or midfield. So that's going to take some good communication from North.
Captains making their way out into the middle. It's Caleb Sarong doing the duties tonight. Alex Pearce missing another game with that leg injury. Jai Simpkin heads out to shake hands with the North Melbourne member who's lucky enough to be tossing the coin. Mitch Turner's got his eyes on it downstairs. Mitch, love the Fremantle stealth jumper they're wearing tonight. The very dark colours with the 3 lighter coloured purple chevrons. What's happened with the toss?
It has been won by North Melbourne. Jai Simpkin pointing to the city end of the ground, which means the Dockers will kick to the Graham Farmer Freeway end. So the North Melbourne Kangaroos to the right of your screen if you've got the volume down and the radio up. Or if you're sitting here at the ground, it's the right of the benches.
Let's head downstairs. The Cash voted will be the keenest man in the ground, that it's only a 25% chance of rain in knowing that, Cash. What's it like downstairs? Welcome to you.
Good evening, Clint. Good evening, everyone. Conditions at the moment are really nice for football. It's around about 16 degrees. As you mentioned, there is a chance of showers coming through, particularly early in the game. The Fremantle side, they are wearing black armbands as well for a member, marking the passing of a member of Shea Bolton's family this week. And in terms of the crowd, it's building slowly, as you mentioned earlier, around about in the high 20s, low 30s. They are expecting and hoping for around 30,000. Looking across to the benches for North Melbourne, Hardiman, Wardlaw, Fisher and Constanti. And for the second week in a row, Robbie Hanson Jr. is the sub. And for Fremantle, Sean Darcy, Neil Erasmus, Wagner and Banfield on the bench. And Nat Fyfe is the sub again.
Fyfe Rolling is the sub again for the Dockers. Which way are we tipping everyone, Billy?
Fremantle for me by 5 goals.
Tara?
Yeah, I'm going to go the Dockers by about 30.
Which way are you going, Mitch?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Dockers by
Not
8.
good enough, Billy.
Dockers by 8 goals.
Dockers should win this by at least 8 goals. I'll go with 9 just for a bit of difference.
Good sport.
It's an interesting look around the ground. It's bathed in blue. It is a North Melbourne home game against Fremantle. The Dockers need to win to climb back into the 8. North would just love another victory in what is now their home away from home, WA. Let's get started. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner with you.
Can the Road Roos do it again? Tristan Sherry opposed to Luke Jackson, who'll take the first bounce of the Dockers. Neither got a clean hit out there. Bolton in the middle for Fremantle. Sockers it to his own advantage. Eventually gathers. Handball still a bit behind. Sharp had to go back, collect. Handball to Warner. Now up the wing on the southern side to Clark. Takes a bit of meterage on the ground and kicks up towards Tracy. One-on-one with Pink. And Tracy takes the mark. Turns quickly. Has a lead on in the middle of the 50. Voss got away from Dawson. Takes the mark on his chest, which is a big one. And he'll go back and have the set shot from slightly worse than 45-degree angle to the right, about 40 metres out.
Interesting matchup. They've gone for Pink on Tracy, and Tracy won that contest, which leaves Logue for Amos and Dawson for Voss, who's having this shot at goal.
First mark inside 50 for the Dockers, coming in 30 seconds of the game here at Perth Stadium. Patrick Voss. Bright boots under the lights. Makes his approach. Kick on goal. Goal umpire works too much. In the end, he misses to the left. Minus score to open proceedings. One behind for Fremantle, North Melbourne. Yet to score. 1 minute played. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Kangaroos go short up the middle. Stevens, who stabs it again. Looks it. Now to Sheasel. Still inside his defensive 50. Interestingly, we had Bailey Banfield on extra time during the week, saying Patrick Voss has been banned from celebrating anywhere near Josh Tracy. Kick's been turned over. That was disappointing by Sheasel, taking the mark on the wing. Moving it here, Chapman comes towards Johnson in game 50 for the Dockers. Inboard foot pass to Brayshaw. He marks still about 70 from goal. Wheels around onto his right, kicks into the left forward pocket. Stretching again was Voss, punched away by Logue coming in from the side. The former Docker seeing it over for a boundary throw-in, about 20 metres to the left of the goals. The way that Fremantle are heading in this opening term, the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. The Dockers on the board with one behind. North yet to score, 2 gone opening quarter.
Cherry v Jackson again. Ball goes over the back of both. Murphy Reid overran the ball. Now Amos goes in. Couldn't gather. O'Sullivan there for North Melbourne. Dodged through traffic. Kick up to the broadcast wing. Darling in front of Draper. Draper held the former Eagle. A couple of boos coming either his way or the umpires. Back here at Perth Stadium, Jack Darling goes short down the line to Parker. Inboard to the logo. Sheasel took too long. Run down by Brayshaw. Affected the kick. Spills to Sarong. The Dockers have it back. Bolton now. Short to Murphy Reid. Mark was paid. He had enough of it. He'll have the free kick. Broadcast side of the ground just forward to the logo. 3 minutes played in the first term for ABC Sport.
Heath Chapman with the job on Paul Curtis, who's been in excellent form.
Here's Murphy Reid on centre wing commentary side. Kicks looking for Frederick up against McDonald. Ball jars out of his hands by McDonald down towards Daniel. Just to get it away to Stevens. Back to Daniel. His hand pass was touched by Brayshaw on the way through. Couldn't work its way on the bounce to Sheasel. It's over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left half forward here for Fremantle.
Which leaves Luke Ryan on Cam Zerha, fresh from his heroics last week.
Wait for the ball to be put back in. The rucks are a long way away. I'll head towards the boundary umpire now. Jackson doing the ruck work for the Dockers against Sherry. Neither got a clean touch. Reading it beautifully. Davies Uniac for the Kangaroos. Kicks in the direction of Larkey. Stretches out the right hand. Couldn't mark across half forward. Hands it off to Zerha. Has to backtrack. Sharp slips over. Zerha kicks inside forward 50. Carries the first pack. Behind it, waiting Darling. Gathered it to his chest. Taken to ground immediately. Locked up there by Draper. Ball up the call inside forward 50 for the Kangaroos.
Big clearance win from Davies Uniac. No corridor cover from Fremantle at that stoppage.
35 metres out from North Melbourne's attacking goal through the stoppage was Davies Uniac. Off to Sheasel to Parker. Snap on goal is marked on the goal line. They're going to check it.
A review here.
They're going to check whether the ball had crossed the line before the mark was taken.
You're not sure what happened at that stoppage, Cara, but it was really dangerous for North and a structural breakdown.
Yeah, it's a great call, Belly. Collapsed in, I think, the Freo mids and just allowed that corridor to open up and quickest way to goal.
So Brennan Cox is the player for the Dockers who was trying to mark on the line. Interestingly, we had a split screen of two different angles that weren't actually synced up, so it didn't help at all. clearly taken the ball, but
The angle we're looking at
it's
now
a shocking angle.
is not going to help, so hopefully they've got
Here we
a
go.
better one.
Is that synced up yet?
Looks like he's controlled it.
He's marked it. So, decision is in, and Brennan Cox controlled the mark before the goal line or the behind line came, and it'll be a Fremantle kick from deep in defence. Brennan Cox to take it. Nice quick decision made by the umpire to go upstairs. We saw one earlier today where they brought it back 40 seconds later to check. Kick exits defensive 50 via Cox. Jackson got a fist in over the top of Sherry down to Frederick. He is tackled by a couple of North Melbourne players. Will have a ball up just outside attacking 50 for North Melbourne.
Ball thrown aloft again. Sherry palmed it down for the Kangaroos. Davies Uniacke gets a kick away inside forward 50. Zerha tries to bring it down one-handed. Spills in the direction of the Dockers. It's going to be locked in there. Ryan will emerge with it for Fremantle. Wrapped up by Zerha. Umpire puts it aloft. Jackson palms it down straight to Brayshaw. Tackled immediately. It's going to be held to him. Ball up again. The World Test Championship has just got back underway. There is a call available on the ABC Listen app if you want to get across that. South Africa now needs 68 runs to win as Sherry looks to bring it away from the restart himself, and he's tackled the ground by Chapman. Still inside North's forward 50. Again, the umpire hurls it aloft. Jackson got his fingertips to it. Davies Uniacke burst his way through. Handed it off to Sheasel. Backtracks to McKercher by hand. Kicks across half forward but turns it over. Switkowski marks just inside his defensive 50 for the Dockers, who lead by one behind. North yet to score. 6.5 gone in the first.
Took it unopposed in the end. Switkowski, maybe the stealth jump up does work. Just slotted back in the middle of the 50.
It's early, but North dominating clearance 5-1. That's a poor turnover.
Shocking kick by Chapman over the head of Switkowski. Sheasel gets there for North Melbourne. To Powell. McKercher. Davies Uniacke running backwards. Back to Powell. Rubbering kick inside the forward 50. Ricochets off a couple. Clark eventually gathers and is met solidly by Dylan Stevens. We'll have another ball up 55 metres out. Right half forward for North Melbourne. Kicking to the city end. Jackson taps it down to Brayshaw. Spills across over to Powell. His kick bounces in front of Zerha. Curtis overruns it. Now runs in to Sarong as he jumps back on it. And is taken to ground. Another ball up inside the forward 50 for North Melbourne. 40 metres out from their attacking goal.
Sherry trying to gather it himself. Couldn't quite do so. It spilled out to Brayshaw. Kicks the Dockers towards the commentary wing. Ball's allowed to bounce. McDonald gets back there for North. And then he goes right back to Pink, who marks between right half back and centre half back. Coming back to lend support is Daniel. Receives the hand pass. Goes on a run left, then right, and almost got himself into real trouble against Tracy, but was calm enough to get a kick away to McDonald, who marks, still at right half back.
Yeah, Fremantle were pretty organised in their team defence, so Daniel had to zig and zag, and in the end he found the composed possession through McDonald.
McDonald on the left, kicks over the top of centre wing, commentary side. Almost a great mark diving back to Cox. Ball hits the deck though. Trying to gather it, Sarong, wrapped up by the opposite three in Sheasel. Just forward of the wing for North Melbourne, commentary side of the ground. We'll have ourselves another ball up. Only one score in the game so far, a behind to Fremantle, 8 and a bit gone in the opening term.
6 disposals already to Luke Davies. Uniacke make it 7 as he takes it away from this stoppage. Cuts back inboard, now tries to share it with Stevens. They both spilt it. Stevens had time though to get back on the ball and goes short, and good mark. Under pressure by Sherry opposed to Darcy. Handball forward to the wing to McDonald. Long kick into the pocket in front. Zerha can't mark. The back of the pack, Fisher is lurking. Stolen by Ryan with the Dockers. His handball too hot for Warner. Gives Zerha a chance. Just outside attacking 50 now. Retreats to Sheasel. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Larky can't mark. Big fist came. Jackson's there for the Dockers. Does the crumbing. Gets it to Warner. His kick up the wing is spilt by Murphy Reid. Tracy's there for support. Puts it back into the path of Murphy Reid, who sockers it forward. Josh Tracy gathers on the wing, steps around Zoe Pink, kicks inside the forward 50. Amos is the target, he can't mark. Well done, Logue. Able to gather, though, is Amos, and into the pocket. He finds Michael Frederick, who takes the mark. Set shot coming up, 45 metres out, tight angle to the left. Graham Farmer, freeway end of Perth Stadium.
We feel like North Melbourne's had all the momentum the last kind of 3 to 4 minutes, absolutely smashing him in terms of disposals. And as you mentioned, Belly around clearance. So one against the grain, be good for Freo to hit the scoreboard with this one.
17 goals, 11 for the season. Michael Frederick's set shot is away to the right. It carries a line, but it is the behind line. Another minus score. 2 behinds for Fremantle. North Melbourne yet to score. 10 minutes played. Opening term here Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
South African captain Temba Bavuma is out for 66. Caught Kerry Bold coming.
Ooh, look out.
Maybe while there's life, there's hope for the Australians to keep the mace as the Kangaroos by hand run up beyond defensive 50. Here's McKercher, takes a bounce, showed a clean pair of heels to Tracy, kick towards left half forward. Coming out, Cox got a spoil on it, spilled out again for the Dockers. And there's a free kick being paid, going the way of the Kangaroos here. Wardlaw immediately sends it inside forward 50. Larky couldn't mark. Spills out again here for Clark. He got dispossessed to Davies Uniacke once more. Now to Fisher, hard up against the boundary. Draper tackles him, kicked around the body. Johnson brought it to ground. Spills out for Banfield. It's been locked in. Ball up, deep inside the Kangaroos forward 50.
They haven't scored, North, but they've been far the better team to this point of the game. They look like they're putting Fremantle under extreme pressure.
Throwing up once more. Dockers win the tap. Comes down again to Jackson. Tackled. Tried to get a hand pass out. Umpire said it was okay. It's gone over the boundary line for a throw-in. So South Africa 3 for 218 now. They need another 64 runs to win. Just reminding you, there is a call available on the ABC Listen App. Look for the cricket button.
All spun back in. Darcy tries to spin around Sherry in the ruck. It goes over the back of both rucks. Warner gave it straight back to Sherry. Snap on the way from 45. Davies Uniacke is on fire to start this game. Kicks the first goal of the match. And Luke Davies Uniacke has had 9 touches, 4 clearances and a goal. And we've only played 12 minutes in the first term here. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. North Melbourne 1 straight 6. Fremantle 2 behinds. Our experts Cara Antonio and Peter Bell.
Well, Belly, sorry, you called it. They've owned field position. They've owned disposals, double in that. Number of inside 50s. They just weren't getting bang for buck, and really good build up there for North Melbourne. Their tackle pressure's been outstanding. 6 tackles inside forward 52, and a really nice finish there for the Roos.
Of the clearance domination of 8-2, yeah, Davies Uniacke with 4 of them. Fremantle have to put some body and time into him. Dangerous player.
A restart. Darcy doing the ruck work, and he gets it for the Dockers. Up against Darling. It's a bit of a mismatch. Knocked forward here along the ground by Sarong. Reid eventually picks it up. Back to Darcy. Clever hand pass forward to Sarong. Turns, immediately sends it inside forward 50. Logue was in front of Bolton and takes the defensive mark at fullback for the Kangaroos, who lead by 4 points. 13 gone in the first.
That's a kick that Caleb Sarong can improve. Very easy from here, but sometimes he's too quick to take the kick when there's more room to explore.
Boos for Griffin Logue as well, which is interesting. Obviously, spent a long time with the Dockers. Picked 64 in 2016. Wardlaw has it at half-back for North Melbourne. Kicks up further afield up the wing. Curtis takes the mark, immediately rolls and plays on. Has a player going back to goal. O'Sullivan can't mark. At the back, North Melbourne have got some numbers. Larky takes possession, is tackled straight away by Luke Ryan. Desperate stuff from the Dockers, taken to ground, 10 metres out, just beyond the attacking goal square for North Melbourne. They lead by 4 points.
Wait for the rucks to get there. Again, Darcy. That's a mismatch once more to Darling. Darcy won it down. Here's an opportunity, trying to get a kick away. Bumped off it, the Dockers. Came back again. Here's Fisher, snapping around the body. Oh, he's got it too from the left forward pocket.
Calling touched.
They are calling touched. Will they review it? No. Umpires say no problems. Those on the ground have said it's a goal. Worked out okay for the Kangaroos. Trying to get it away under genuine pressure was Erasmus. And then all of a sudden it spilled out, and Stevens was able to find Fisher, who snapped truly from 35 metres out. But what about the collision on Erasmus from Wardlaw that caused the ball to ricochet out? North 2 straight 12, the Dockers 2 behinds, 14 gone in the first.
I actually really like the way they're moving the ball, North Melbourne. Really fast off half-back. Far too easy there to kind of pin their way through the Fremantle defence, and just, again, forward pressure. They've laid 13 tackles, North Melbourne, 7 of those inside their forward 50, and, again, that was down as a goal from stoppage, but I'm almost argue off turnover from the back half from Fremantle.
They are checking it. I saw the field umpire signalling to the players the replay signal and almost the T, like the cricket review, saying they will look at it.
They look at everyone, don't they?
Well, they're back in position. The umpires are waiting, though, because, they want to see if it was touched. I suggest it was touched off the boot. Warner obviously clearly didn't touch it.
Yeah,
the
definitely
line.
the boot. Luke Ryan was the one who was most aggressively.
We are not seeing a replay here in our broadcast position so far. I reckon the umpire's squeezing the ball like he's going to get play back underway. Looks like it's been given the all clear. Goal stands to Zach Fisher. Ball about to be bounced. Sean Darcy v Jack Darling in the ruck. They tie up in the middle. Darling got a hand to it. Got it down to Simpkin, who just threw it away. Ricochets off Darcy. Erasmus tackled by Powell. Taken strongly to ground, but was taken high. So the free kick to Neil Erasmus. Still inside the centre square, Perth Stadium. Starting to see a little bit of footy this year. As the young Dockery goes short to Brayshaw, immediately rolls, kicks inside the forward 50. Darcy can't mark. Sarong's there trying to gather. Slips over. Handball to Sharp outside attacking 50. Off to Banfield. Kick towards Voss. Can't take the mark. Spills down to Daniel. Free kick paid. As Peter Bell said, high over the shoulder of Patrick Voss in the middle of the pack.
It's a big hit.
Big collision, wasn't it?
Yep. He was a bit worse for wear, Pat Voss.
He is tough, and maybe there are a lot of Roos fans in the house. No, yes, I can't tell who's cheering, who's booing. It's a real mixture of both right now.
And Fremantle really need a settling goal, but also Pat Voss, after missing his first shot at goal, we know he's a confidence player like most at goal, but particularly Pat Voss. He would dearly love to give his side their first goal of the match.
Well, everyone will be watching what happens if the ball does go through. He's built a reputation as one of the great celebrators. Patrick Voss. Set shot. Just gives the double cobra. Pumps both biceps in the air. Fremantle find their first goal. 1-2-8 for the Dockers. North Melbourne, they are 2 straight 12. 17 minutes into the first quarter here. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Our experts in the box. Former Dockers captain, Cara Antonio. Former North Melbourne premiership player, Peter Bell.
Free kick definitely there. Big swinging arm tackle, caught Voss high. It was vigorous. I don't mind it from Dawson. He would have liked to have avoided giving the free kick, but a signal that every contest is going to be fiercely contested.
Courageous by Pink as well to go back with the flight of the ball just to create another body in the air, but you're right, Belly. A clear free kick, arm over the shoulder.
Earlier today, GWS by 11 over Brisbane and the Cats by 95 over the Bombers. North lead by 4 points here up against the Dockers. Fremantle will get the clearance. Came through Brayshaw, then Darcy. Into Erasmus, who kicks inside forward 50, and it is another free kick. This way going the way of North Melbourne. They'll come back here to Logue. Holding decision goes on the board. Logue in the bright orange boots, the former Docker himself. Originally from Swan Districts, kicks long towards left half back. Punch came down here from Draper at the back of that pack. The umpire says it's not going anywhere. Held into Sharp, ball up the call. Right half forward for Freo. Just a couple of metres in from the boundary. Crowds definitely say around 30,000 at the moment as Darcy won it down. Trying to shovel it out was Wardlaw. Got it to Constanti, then to Sheasel, now to Simpkin. The run came from Powell, received the hand pass and then kicked towards the left forward pocket. Diving back, Parker marks 51 out from goal. Hard up against the boundary from left half forward. Parker works his way onto his right, kicks it towards full forward. Backing back courageously, Chapman got crunched. And the free kick's going to come here the other way, though, and it's gone to Sheasel, who was taken high, according to the officials, in that contest.
Derha looks like he's a bit worse for wear in that contest. Bodies flew everywhere.
The attack on the football, and at times the player with the football, has been ferocious early stages. Harry Sheasel looking for North Melbourne's third. He'll start in line with the left hand behind post. He kicks from 25 metres out. He's kicked the goal for the Kangaroos. North with 3 straights in the opening 20 minutes here at Perth Stadium. 3 straight 18. The Dockers are 1-2-8. This is Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts, Peter Bell and Cara Antonio.
Just looking at the replay for Cam Zerha, looked to have been winded, got sort of sandwiched in the contest. Real concern for Fremantle. North Melbourne able to waltz the ball out of the stoppage on the wing straight out the front door. No layer of protection at all. A really good contested mark from Luke Parker and then a kick to a dangerous spot.
And the free kick was there high with Sheasel driving through. Got taken just around the shoulder and the side of the neck by Draper.
It's his second goal for the year. Harry Sheasel, who's kind of plays all over the ground these days, in the middle today. That's where the ball is. Not for long. Sherry takes it from the stoppage, kicks inside the forward 50, flying high, unable to take the mark was Parker. Sheasel involved. Handball off to Constanti. His kick was smothered by Ryan. Falls to Sharp for the Dockers. Free kick was paid. The Dockers took the advantage. Sharp's kick up the wing. Murphy Reid worked his man under it. Voss came into lens support, overran it. So did Wardlaw. Now Reid gathers to Brayshaw. Forward handball to Jackson. Just forward to the wing. His kick towards half forward, intended for Bolton. It was chopped off initially. Bolton went back and got it. Spun out of trouble. Kick on goal. Oh, he's brilliant, this guy. He can do anything, Shea Bolton. Ball didn't get to him on the delivery, went back, gathered, and you could see the panic in the defenders as he was spinning in circles at the 50. The Dockers respond, they get their second. Bolton gets his first. 2-2-14 Fremantle. North Melbourne 3 straight 18. 21 minutes played into the first term Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
Well, he kind of just waited for the ball, expecting it to fall in his lap, and Caleb Daniel got a hand in, but just the one-handed pick-up. Go one way, go the other, from just on 50 as well. He's an outstanding player, and again, he's been in some fantastic form, and that just shows what he's capable of forward half of the footy.
Just scooped it up at pace, and then knew as the ball was about 2/3 of the way there, that was going to be a goal. Terrific to watch, Bolton. Sherry wins down the restart. It bounced back to him. Erasmus held him. He got the hands free, though, well over his head. And was back to Davies-Uniacke. Brought his own football so far. To Daniel. Kicks over the head of Simpkin. Bounces past him and then bounces awkwardly for Banfield. Simpkin might have been held without it. He should get the free kick here. He will. At left half forward, about 70 from goal. Has to pause for a moment to assess what's ahead. It's a congested forward 50. So he thumps it towards the teeth of goal. Zerha flew. Punch came from Draper at the back for the Dockers. Gathering it on the bounce was Brayshaw. Puts it up the corridor but turns it over. Fancied only one player could really get to that, and it was McDonald who marks, and he steers it across towards Dawson in the team this week. Dawson for the Kangaroos towards McKercher. On to Davies-Uniacke again. Did well to get away from Switkowski. To Dawson. Back to Davies-Uniacke under real pressure. Just got a hand pass out. The Dockers should win this, or the free kick actually coming back to them. And they'll have it through Erasmus at left half back. They trail by 4 points, 23 gone in the first.
Erasmus quickly to Warner, then Sarong, all by hand. They've turned it over. Wardlaw gives it to Sheasel. Free kick coming back. Going to Wardlaw. No, it's not. It's going to Sheasel. Bit of confusion in the middle. Quick by hand. Goes to McKercher from the centre square. Sets his sights on home. Big fly from the side. No mark taken. Zerha. Dockers clean it up. Banfield. Release kick looking for Brayshaw. Brilliant work by Wardlaw. Cuts it off. Runs to 45. Squares the kick looking for a target. Couldn't find it again. Punched away from Zerha. Still inside the Dockers defensive 50. Sarong to Erasmus. They need an outlet mark. Tracy can't take it. He's got 1v3 here for the Roos. He's tackled by Dawson. And he finds the boundary line, which is probably what he was looking for in the end. It'll be tossed back in. Attacking side of the broadcast wing, favouring North Melbourne's scoring end. They lead the Dockers by 4 points.
Backed by the coach this week, Wardlaw, and he's paying him back right now. Now, there's a free kick.
Go to Jackson, I reckon, against Cherry in the ruck. Would be my guess.
It was called by the umpire in the middle of the ground.
It was. The non-controlling umpire who's a good 60 metres away. Cherry's still got the arms out as to go, what was that for? Jackson doesn't care. He takes the free kick and he'll head towards left half forward with it. 2-on-2 battle. Off hands. Voss He's able to get the arms free to Switkowski at the back of the pack. Lovely kick inside forward 50. He spotted Amos and he marks it left full forward.
So dangerous, those long down the line. So the long kick, and then when you can flush a crumb and get goal side, it's off to the races because the forwards are already breaking forward.
It was Pink and Logue that got pushed under the ball, wasn't it? Just, great body work by the two big Fremantle forwards there.
And Jai Amos, he'll kick from 25 out, 45-degree angle to the left. It starts out right. It doesn't deviate. It misses right. Narrowly, but still only a minor score. 2-3-15 to the Dockers. 3 straight 18 the Kangaroos. 25 gone in the opening term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside this man, Mitch Turner, in commentary.
Davies-Uniacke, 11 disposals. Leads all comers on the ground. Caleb Daniel with kicking duties. Plays on. Kicks out to the wing. Big fist away from Curtis by Warner. Jackson was there to gather. Handball up the line to Amos, who is met solidly by Tristan Sherry, and that's going to be a tough one to break that tackle.
He's broken a lot of tackles. Talking of breaking tackles, Davies-Uniacke as well. Fremantle need to clamp him and make the tackles stick. He's just waltzing through too many.
Ball up, left half forward for the Dockers. Darcy v Sherry. Sherry got to the front, tapped it down to Brayshaw, who was being held. He'll get the free kick. Stands 60 out from goal. Brayshaw plays on, runs to 50. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Flying from the side was Amos. It's punched away over the behind line for a rush behind. That is 2-4-16 now, the Dockers. 3 straight 18. North Melbourne, 26 gone in the first term.
Kirchup goes on a bit of a run with the kicking duties and turns it over. Switkowski, who marks up against Hardiman. He's got it, let's say, 55 from goal, a metre or two in from the boundary at right half forward. Steps to his right, puts it into the right forward pocket. Jackson stretches, Logue won it down. Here's Bolton again. Tackled beautifully by Davies-Uniacke. And that's holding the ball. Wrapped him up perfectly that time. He stands between fullback and centre half back for the Kangaroos. He'll put it into the right back pocket. This is McDonald who marks and pops a kick short. And McKercher still inside his defensive 50, hard up against the boundary, right back pocket. Dangerous kick, but it got enough to find its way onto Sherry. Tracy was appealing that he touched it on the way through. Umpires not interested. Sherry by hand and McKercher running by. Runs to the top of his defensive 50 arc. Kicks into the centre circle. Simpkin couldn't take it. Dockers with a chance now through Sarong. Throws it on the boot and puts it down the throat of McDonald, who's found himself in that right spot a couple of times so far this evening. The Kangaroos by 4 points. 27 minutes gone in the opening term.
That's disposal 7 for the former captain, who goes short to Daniel. Short again to Powell. McDonald kept running. Now outside the southern wing from the logo. Launches inside the forward 50. Backing back. Cox couldn't take the mark. Curtis at ground level. Got it to Sheasel. Kick was a little up and under. Coming out to Meadow. Sullivan went back with a flight. Couldn't take the mark. One-on-one with Frederick. Both go to ground. Darling's there. Gathers the handball. Off to Zerha. Tucked in the right pocket. Brings it across the face. One-on-one between Parker and Sharp. Neither were really favoured. It bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket for a boundary throw-in.
Just balls exiting the back half, or I suppose the forward half of Fremantle's, and way too easy. Need way more pressure. Empty out from the forwards.
Ball to be spun back into play. Sherry got away from Darcy, took it out of the ruck, and then Darcy just jumped on top of him. It's two very big men out there. Will have to wrestle again as they get to their feet. Ball tossed high in the sky. Darcy taps it down towards Banfield, who is tackled as he gathers. Parker is the opposing player. They'll go once more. They'll toss it in the air.
Sherry got a punch away. Chapman will track it, picks it up. Tackled by Curtis. His hand pass went straight to Sheasel, to Davies-Uniacke, now to Fisher. Hands it off again to Parker. Goes back to O'Sullivan, puts it onto the left boot. Couldn't get enough over the top. Almost a mark then to Cox. He was in his own goal square. Ricocheted away. He was happy to track it back across the behind line for a minor score. The Roos out to a 3-point advantage. 3-1-19 to 2-4-16. 29 gone in the opening term. The Dockers quickly back into play. It's kicked to Warner in the left back pocket.
Warner goes up towards the 50 gamer. Just backward to the wing in Johnson, who takes the mark. Subiaco product. He's found a fairly irregular spot in the side this season, has Matthew Johnson, as he goes Back inside defensive 50 to Clark. Full switch is now on to the back pocket. Cox exits outside the southern side to Banfield, who found some space to take the mark. It's a slow, cautious build-up. The Fremantle Dockers, eventually Banfield, nothing on, was called to play on. Had to run around and just whack it on the left boot. Kicks up towards Tracy and Amos. Neither could mark off the back of the pack. McDonald did very well. Daniels there to run the ball out. Able to just duck under the attempted tackle by Switkowski. And then a brilliant kick to Sheasel in the middle. Handball across to McKercher, goes wide to O'Sullivan.
So O'Sullivan just inside the commentary edge of the centre square. Pops it short to Sheasel. Sheasel can take a couple of steps and he'll put it into the right forward pocket. Trying to lead out to it. Larkey just dragged it in. Hand pass back to McKercher. On the outside of the left boot, looks to curl it back towards goal. Spoil came at the back from Cox. Zerha was front position. Cox is happy enough to see it across the boundary line for a throw-in.
Didn't like that ball movement from Fremantle. From Johnson, they went all the way across the other side of the field to Banfield. North Melbourne had clearly paired them off, so why go around when there's even numbers?
Throwing right forward pocket for North Melbourne, city end of the ground. Darcy palmed it down for the Dockers. Chapman went out up to gather, couldn't. Brayshaw can, gave it back to Clark for Freo. To Sharp, had time. Think about the options. Selects goes long, looking to Switkowski. Great kick, good mark too. Daniel's right with him, and that'll be 50. Daniel brought him to ground after the mark was completed. So off he goes, Switkowski, and now he plays on and he takes a bounce, puts it inside forward, 50. Tracy got away from his opponent in pink and he takes a mark. Uncontested, 45 out from goal. He'll start just about in line with the right hand behind post.
That's an error of judgment from Caleb Daniel because there's 20 seconds left when Sam Switkowski took that mark. He's conceded the 50, couldn't keep up with Switkowski on the run back to goal, and now Fremantle get a crucial shot.
This will hurt North because if he kicks truly, Josh Tracy, it will put Fremantle in front after the quarter-time siren. From 48 metres out, Tracy has put it across to the left. It's a minor score. The Roos dodged that. 3-1-19, the Kangas at the first change. Fremantle at 2-5-17. So North Melbourne with just their third opening term victory of 2025. They lead by 2 points. The goal kickers look like this. For North, Sheasel, Davies-Uniacke and Fisher. While for the Dockers, to Voss and Bolton. Earlier today, GWS by 11 points over Brisbane. And the Cats beat the Bombers by 95 points. Quick update for you. The game taking place, the test match going on right now at Lords. The World Test Championship still very much in South Africa's favour. They need just another 55 runs to win. They're currently 3 for 227. So everything in South Africa's favour right now. If you want to have a listen to that, there is a call available on the ABC Listen app. But here on ABC Radio, on ABC Sport Digital, and wherever you're listening to AFL on the ABC Listen app, this is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
As each day begins,
get the facts you need to stay informed.
Every day, across your day.
Stay with Australia's trusted news source.
All the latest, all verified. Stay in the know with ABC News.
On ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Ball spun back in. Darcy tries to spin around Sherry in the ruck. It goes over the back of both rucks. Warner gave it straight back to Sherry. Snap on the way from 45. Davies-Uniacke is on fire to start this game. Kicks the first goal of the match. Handball to Sharp outside attacking 50. Off to Banfield. Kick towards Voss. Can't take the mark. It's down to Daniel. Free kick paid. As Peter Bell said, high over the shoulder of Patrick Voss in the middle of the pack. He's built a reputation as one of the great celebrators. Patrick Voss, set shot, just gives the double cobra, pumps both biceps in the air. Fremantle find their first goal.
Diving back, Parker marks 51 out from goal. Hard up against the boundary from left half forward. Parker works his way onto his right, kicks it towards full forward, backing back courageously. Chapman got crunched. And the free kick's going to come here the other way, though, and it's gone It's a Sheasel who was taken high according to the officials in that context. Harry Sheasel looking for North Melbourne's third. He'll start in line with the left hand behind post. He kicks from 25 metres out. He's kicked the goal for the Kangaroos.
Reed gathers to Brayshaw. Forward handball to Jackson. Just forward to the wings. Kick towards half forward, intended for Bolton. It was chopped off initially. Bolton went back and got it. Spun out of trouble. Kick on goal. Oh, he's brilliant, this guy. He can do anything, Shea Bolton. Ball didn't get to him on the delivery. Went back, gathered. And you could see the panic in the defenders as he was spinning in circles at the 50. Dockers respond, they get their second.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
North Melbourne in their new home away from home of WA, the second of 2 games they're playing in the West in 2025, lead Fremantle by 2 points at Perth Stadium. Let's get the thoughts of our experts on ABC Sport. Dual premiership player with the Kangaroos and a former Dockers captain in Peter Bell and another former Dockers captain, Cara Antonio, for you.
Been really impressed with North Melbourne's first quarter. It was evident from the first bounce that their energy was up, their intensity, their speed. They took the game on. They went straight at goal most of the time. They've dominated possessions, 111 to 74, and it's always a good formula when you're also winning tackles, which is 21 to 14. So putting immense pressure on Fremantle. A couple of times I mentioned even a player of the calibre of Caleb Sarong just rushing his kick because of perceived pressure that North Melbourne were putting on them. North kicked 3 goals, so all 3 of their goals from stoppage, and they've had some really good looks. So Fremantle will want to address that and get their structures right, because at the moment they're able to drive straight out the front door on too many occasions, Cara.
Yeah, you're right, Belly. It's the forward kind of half of the ground pressure from me, from North's point of view. They're playing a really good brand of footy. They're exciting. They're breaking the lines. The team defence of Fremantle breaking down massively, and they're just being able to kind of do their own thing at the moment. For me, the inside 50 tackle count is the one that is a highlight. North Melbourne at 10 already out of their 21 tackles inside forward 50. They only average 9 for a game inside forward 50. So you can clearly see they want to play that forward half of the ground, and again, just getting more bang for buck. North Melbourne, Fremantle have their opportunities. They've taken 4 marks inside forward 50, but sitting at 2 goals 5 at the moment.
That's their advantage, isn't it? The big fellas forward. They've had some good looks, but unfortunately they haven't converted, and they were all gettable shots at goal. Voss, Tracy and Amos all missing goals they should have kicked, which would have possibly put Fremantle in front, but the quarter belonged to North Melbourne.
Absolutely.
Great analysis from Cara Antonio and Peter Bell. They listed a lot of those team numbers for you. Just another one, the possession count, maybe described in this way. The uncontested possession, North Melbourne, they lead that by 32. They trail contested possession by 1. So it's the outside where they're getting the Dockers individually. Luke Davies-Uniacke has 14 disposals, 4 clearances and a goal for North Melbourne. Harry Sheasel has 13 touches and a goal. McKercher has 11. Daniel and McDonald have 9 apiece. For the Dockers, Brayshaw has 8 disposals. Sarong 7. Clark 6. Luke Jackson with 5.
I'd like to get in touch. 0437 774 774. As always, a couple of questions I have to get to at half time, but I promise, Steve, if you stick around with us, we will do so. A big shout out to Jan from Iroa. Love ABC footy. Go North. You can beat any team on any ground at any time. Just believe. Well, they're believing enough to be in front right now. The Kangaroos, again, just glancing around, I'd be very surprised if there's less than 30,000 in here, which really does stack up well against the last couple of times these sides have played for a North Melbourne home game at the Docklands. Second term about to get underway. North in their traditional colours, the blue and white stripes. The Dockers in their dark stealth jumper, very dark purple or black with the 3 light coloured chevrons down the front. North sent it deep inside forward 50 to begin. Going out, Zurhaar tries to mark. He looks like he's hurt himself, Zurhaar.
Yeah.
He's down and he's sore and he's remained on his back. Free kick going the way of the Dockers out of all of this. It's come to Wagner. Zurhaar's up again, but still not moving freely at all. They haven't got the trainers to him just yet. Meantime, Wagner will send it long towards the southern wing. Off hands, down for the Kangaroos to Stevens, originally from Davies-Uniacke, and they're going to have to pause here with the ball about to come inside forward 50. Umpire's spotted a free kick out of all of this, has he? So I thought there was just a massive pause with the ball going out of play.
They're waiting for Zerha to get out of the area
coming from
well.
the field, but North Melbourne have the footy.
A long way away from where it was, so at least they've got that right. Well done to the umpires. I don't think he was in any danger at that point in time, but he's still making his way off the ground. North have it through Pink. They'll kick deep inside, forward 50. Off hands, down in the direction of Fisher. Tries to get a hand pass out. Davies-Uniacke emerges with it. His hand pass stolen almost away by Jackson. Lost it at the most pivotal moment. Trying to steal it, Wardlaw swept the hand pass over his shoulder, inside forward of 50 again. Getting back, Chapman looked to mop it up. Dangerous hand pass to no one in particular. Stevens goes up against Clark, and it's going to be a free kick here to Stevens. And he's got it, 52 out from his goal. He's about a metre in from the boundary.
Again, pressure outstanding, just outnumbering at the contest. North Melbourne, their will to win the ball.
He'll wheel onto his left. Puts North towards full forward. Again, a big pack up. No mark taken. Sherry goes barging through and he's eventually wrapped up. Held down. He stays down for a moment as well. Ball up right in front of his attacking goal. North to the left of our broadcast position. The Farmer Freeway end in this quarter. They still lead by 2 points. 2 minutes gone in the second.
Jackson v Sherry in the ruck. Jackson, nice little backhand tap down to Bolton, who's deep in defence. His kick out towards Darcy, knocked away by Dawson. Sarong spilt it inside defence of 50. Powell went in, got it away to a teammate in Parker, who was immediately tackled by Clark.
And a bit fumbly, Caleb Sarong. I mentioned feeling the pressure in the first quarter as well. He'll want to reset and get going.
Standing next to Luke Davies-Uniacke here as the ball's tossed up. 45 out from North Melbourne's attacking goal. He ends up with it. Sarong under pressure. Handballs it to Clark. He was under pressure. He was taken higher right at the last second.
But how's the swarming frontal pressure from North there? They had Fremantle on the back foot, really liking it.
He was in big trouble, and just as the tackle reset the last grab, he just put the arm over the shoulder of the North Melbourne attacking player. So Fremantle with the free kick. Up the wing goes Clark over the head of Darcy and Lowe to Amos. Off to Switkowski, takes a bounce. Handballs in front of Frederick. Broadcast swing goes backwards to Bolton. Now he can go inside forward 50. Over the top, Tracy! Got the sit on top of Pink. And the poor North Melbourne defender could do nothing about it as he backtracked into the path of Tracy, who rose high and took the mark.
It's also a very good kick from Shea Bolton. He actually gestured at Tracy to come at the footy. And then it was a really long pass and Tracy had the perfect sit on Toby Pink's back.
Had a good look after the quarter time siren, did Josh Tracy, and couldn't find a goal. On the approach, he misses again to the left-hand side. That is 2 that he's pulled to the left. Another minor score. Fremantle 2-6-18. North Melbourne 3-1-19. The margin back to 1 point just 4 minutes into the second term.
Another disappointing miss. We will head downstairs in just a moment. Beyond defensive 50 here for the Kangaroos. Curtis takes it across the boundary line, which is where a cash photo is. A cash.
It's for Cam Zerha. So just they've checked out that right ankle a couple of times. He's done a few run-throughs, looked a bit properly, and at the moment he's just sitting on the bench and still talking with the doctors.
Just missed that first bit of cash. What did you say?
It's a right ankle concern for Cam Zerha at the moment.
Thank you. Thrown back in again. Sherry was able to get the hand pass away after he took clean possession. Knocked forward by O'Sullivan. Big packet left half forward. Off hands. Comes down for the Kangaroos. Constanti kicks inside forward 50, and then he's actually kicked it too deep. It's gone over the boundary line for a throw-in. I beg your pardon, for a free kick for the Dockers. They've got it deep in their right back pocket, and Draper will take the free kick for the out of bounds on the full. Draper moves it inboard and finds Banfield. 1 point the difference. North in front, 5 gone second term.
Dangerous kick from Banfield. Somehow got it to Cox, who played on and missed Clark with the handball, but now he takes off through the middle. Jordan Clark pushed off it as he kicked. Great effort by Davies-Uniacke. Spills to Powell. Off to Riley Hardiman. North go inside the forward 50, and the turnover kills the Dockers as Larkey got out the back, was able to take the mark. And I don't want to mock him, but he is someone you don't want to give too many set shots to, Nick Larkey.
Davies-Uniacke, what a game is he playing. 17 touches already. The 5 ground ball gets, the 4 clearances, 2 tackles, and that 1% chase down tackle, which is with me, Nick Larkey now.
Is Nick Larkey on today? Yes, he is. The sharpshooter is here. He gets his first goal of the evening. North Melbourne draw further ahead, 4-1-25. The visiting home side. Fremantle, they're 2-6-18, 7-point margin, 6 minutes into the second. Cara Antonio and Peter Bell are experts for ABC Sport.
And after Fremantle spurned 4 set shot opportunities, Nick Larkey capitalises on his first look at goal. And you're right, Cara, to point out an unbelievable chase from Luke Davies-Uniacke, who has been scintillating in this game to this point.
The cash voted are downstairs.
North Melbourne say Cam Zerha will be all right to continue in the game, and we're just starting to get a little bit of a shower down here at ground level as well.
Yes.
Oh, you'd be disappointed if it didn't rain on you, Cash.
I didn't know whether I was praying for it to rain more here or at Lord's.
Very good from you. One down in the middle by Darcy for the Dockers, but stealing it away. Wardlaw threw it on the boot. It'll bounce eventually inside forward 50. Constanti tried to gather, ricocheted off his boot more than a kick forward, only in the direction of Ryan though, who scooped it up and went straight into Curtis. Bit of afters here. They both go to ground. General discussion between Curtis and Ryan. They'll break up with the umpire to throw it up into the air. Darcy palms it down with the left against Sherry. Still there to be won. Sarong looked to get it out. Ricocheted again, back into traffic. Gathered by Wardlaw. Throws it on the boot. Kicks around the body. It will land at right full forward. It's rushed through for a minor score. It's hit the post, actually, beg your pardon. It's going to be a throw-in instead at right full forward. 4-1-25 the Kangas. 2-6-18 the Dockers. Nearly 8 minutes gone in the second. Rain has got a little bit heavier. You see it through the binoculars now. Both rucks had a go. Ricocheted out the side. Taken then by Sharp. Kicks the Dockers into the middle of the ground. Tracy. Did he have enough for it to be a mark? Crowd thought so. Officials didn't. Wrapped up, locked in. Bolton will climb on and help him off the deck. Well, up inside the centre square. Only just for the Kangaroos. Sherry was involved. Came down to Sarong. Got it to Erasmus. To Bolton. Just got the hand pass away. Warner spun in the tackle. Got the arms free. Released the hand pass to Clark. Will kick long towards right half forward. Tracy strong again. Still against Big. They stayed down this time. Great body work from the Big Docker. Tracy tacking edge of the centre square. Kicks towards full forward. Jackson. Arms high up above his head. Dragging in the mark at full forward for Freo.
Well, that was an unbelievable handball chain under immense pressure, and I reckon if North keep that pressure up, Fremantle won't be able to execute that level of handball chain consistently, particularly with a bit of drizzle around. Josh Tracy, influential, big mark, took his time. Jackson has a shot at goal from 30 metres out directly in front.
Here comes big Luke Jackson, 4-2 for the season. He's right in front. Pops it through for Freo. They've got their third at the 9-minute mark of the second term. Making the most of a good grab up forward. Fremantle 3-6-24. They've cut the margin back to just a point. The Kangaroos 4-1-25. 9 and a bit gone in the second term. An update for you at Lord's. And at the moment, South Africa need just 49 runs. They're still 3 for 233. Stubbs has come in. He's unbeaten on 5. Markram unbeaten on 115. And, of course, the World Test Championship, a call available on the ABC Listen app. Here at Perth Stadium, our experts, Cara Antonio and Peter Bell.
Who's actually playing as a mid.
I was just
Luke
about
Jackson
to say that.
For that goal.
Yeah.
Snuck forward.
He's on the bench now, having a rest. Ball back in the middle. Darcy tapped it to Erasmus, who was tackled immediately by Sheasel, taken high again. Free kick to Fremantle. Erasmus short to Darcy, still inside the middle of the centre square. Plays on, almost got smothered by Sheasel. Darcy kicks inside the forward 50. It bounces hard off the chest of Voss. Costanti was there to gather for North. Got it to Fisher under pressure from Tracy. The kick was tight to the boundary line, and Clark came across to punch it away from Sheasel.
It was only a spoil, but Jordan Clark was so fast that he ran past about 3 players. 2 of them were his teammates, including Carl Warner, who's no slouch, but serious athlete.
Got a bit of love from North Melbourne coach Alistair Clarkson this week, who said he's Probably one of the more underrated players in the competition. Would get more love in Victoria. Here he is. Clark on the left foot. Kicks towards Tracy. Pink did well. Rode by Voss. Snap around the body. Off the side of the boot and rolled out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throwing right next to the right behind post. Deep in the Dockers. Forward 50. 11 gone. They trail North Melbourne by 1 point.
Dawson just did enough to provide the pressure on Tracy. Couldn't get it to curl around off the boot. Back in again. Both rucks with a tap. Spilled out in the direction of Powell. Sends it beyond defensive 50. Ryan tried to emerge with it. His hand pass ricocheted off a Kangaroo. It comes towards the wing. Keeping it in, Fisher. Then happy to get it was Chapman. Gave it to Warner. Then to Ryan. His hand pass missed its target in Chapman. Big collision. Banfield up against Constanti. It's going to be a free kick. Contact below the knees. And Banfield will have it. He takes it quickly for the Dockers. Nice foot pass. Finds Johnson just forward of the wing. Still hard up against the boundary. Pauses for a second. Will go short with a kick that goes over the top of a couple and finds its way to Brayshaw. Still too far out to score himself for the Dockers. Sees a run of Wagner. Gives him the hand pass. Wagner runs towards centre half forward. The kick, though, wasn't what he was hoping for. Marked defensively by North Melbourne's Pink. And he has it at fullback. Still a 1 point lead to the Kangas. 12 gone in the second term. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Dylan Stevens receives it in the right back pocket. Goes short to Callan Dawson. Just beyond his own goal face. Right back pocket. Dawson plays on for North Melbourne. Kicks towards the wing. Lark in front. Punched away by Cox. Spills down to Sarong for the Dockers. Chiseling kick inside the forward 50 on the bounce. Unable to take it was Logue. Crashing through is Daniel. He's taken high. He is. By Murphy Reid. Not hard to take Caleb Daniel high, but if you thought anyone could lay the tackle, Murphy Reid to be one. They're not too dissimilar. Goes back across his own goal face to Harry Sheasel. Now exit defensive 50 on the broadcast side. Looking for O'Sullivan. Had a couple cracks at it. Couldn't take the mark. Davies Uniacke tackled by Wagner. Holding the ball. The Dockers take the advantage. Oh, they'll regret that too. Voss's kick. Under pressure.
Just zero composure at all.
Straight to Luke McDonald at the top of his defensive goal square. And they have a couple of players out here in North Melbourne. Fisher can receive it left half back. Runs his 15 metres. Kicks up the wing looking for Constanti. Couldn't mark. Taps it into the path of Zerha. Has two Dockers to beat. Couldn't get them both. Run down by Ryan. Holding the ball. They get away with one of the Dockers. Ryan goes short to half back to Clark, who's starting to get involved. Disposal 11 coming up.
It's been a better 3 or 4 minutes for Fremantle, for sure.
You can tell they're getting a little bit momentum here.
Clark's kick had to be precise to Banfield. Wasn't. Sherry was able to knock it down. North through hands again, can move it forward. Comes to Constanti, got it from O'Sullivan. Constanti kicks towards left half forward, marked there by Parker. It's about 55 from goal. We'll wheel around and send it to the hot spot. Big mark attempt coming from the side. Chapman couldn't drag it down. Knocked out by Sheasel. Only as far as Sharp for the Dockers. Spends a tumbling kick towards left half back. Getting there first, knocking it down. Dawson. Now it's with Stevens, and he finds Sheasel as he marked it. Not quite. Just spilled it last minute across the boundary line for a throw-in. He had it, just couldn't take it cleanly in the wet conditions. So much for 25% chance of rain. It's settling in now, the precipitation. The ball will be thrown in. North Melbourne's forward 50, right forward pocket. Darling did the ruck work, comes down though to the Dockers. Sharp and then Erasmus. Bouncing kick towards the outer wing. Tracy got dealt with it. Logue threw him to ground. Umpires say nothing doing. Dockers still with it. Brayshaw, then Reid, and back again to Wagner, who marks it left half back. The Kangaroos are up by a point, 15 gone in the second term. Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Third club for Corey Wagner, one of them, North Melbourne, the other the Demons. He plays game 50 today as the ball goes up towards half forward, and Voss was the player holding on this occasion. Gives away the free kick to Luke McDonald, who's having quite a good day, the former captain. Goes laterally back inside defensive 50 to Daniel, trying to switch the ball now. North Melbourne, Pink in the goal square, goes to the pocket. Frederick almost got hands on it, trying to knock it away from Hardeman. The kick goes up the wing. Zerha v. Warner, one-on-one. The support is coming. Zerha v. Warner. They both going at it. Ball goes out of bounds.
Warner.
And as Peter Bell said, it just hit the boot of Carl Warner on the boundary line. It's a free kick to North Melbourne. It's in the hands of Zerha, who's shaking off that ankle concern. He can send it inside the forward 50. Larkey the target, off hands, out the back, over the boundary line. Boundary throw-in coming up. 25 metres around from North Melbourne's attacking goal. Kicking the Graham Farmer Freeway end. They lead the Dockers by 1 point, 16 minutes into the second term for ABC Sport.
Davey Gignac, by the way, with 17 disposals. Sarong with 12. Boundary umpire about to unfurl. 25 out from North's attacking goal. Jackson got there first, palmed it down in the direction of Brayshaw. Immediately set upon. It's going to be a ball up again. No chance of getting past Darling, who affected the tackle. Throwing up into the air. Jackson locks arms with Darling. Jackson won it down. Pinballs around from Sharp to Erasmus at the back of the pack. Kicks the Dockers towards right half back. Hardeman went up for it. Couldn't mark the slippery football. Oh, beautifully done. Gathering at Sheasel. Got away from Sharp. Kicks towards left full forward. Jackson's there again. Hands past the Banfield. He's under pressure. Just got it across the line. Was able to rush it through. Larkey was appealing that he was held. But
very lucky, I reckon.
Just got away with it.
Very lucky.
The pressure was there. He was able to rush it through, but there was a fine margin as Ryan brings it back into play. North by 2 points.
That was...
He almost placed the ball over the line then.
That was
as he was
dangerous by Bailey Banfield, if you've ever seen it. He was like a union or league player reaching for the try line. He was just trying to get the ball there. The ball's been knocked out of bounds as the Dockers try to exit it. Defensive 50, so right half forward for North. Just beyond that, there'll be a ball in. Jack Darling is in the ruck for the Kangaroos. Over the top, Jackson. Tapped it down in front. Couldn't find a teammate. Hands and knees, Sheasel. Handballed it straight to Luke Jackson. The Dockers have it. Murphy Reid backwards by hand to Wagner. Kick up the wing. Looking for Tracy. Couldn't mark. Ross was there too. Second effort back on it. Josh Tracy's able to gather. Get it to Sarong. Throws it on the left boot in the wet, and that is not the ideal outcome for Caleb Sarong, who's been a little off his best tonight.
I'd love to have the coach talk to him when he comes to the bench and stop trying to kick it so hard. He is trying to kick it so hard tonight.
He's going at 38% as well, so not his greatest night.
Have the ball defensive side of the wing. They kick up, no mark taken off hands, and they win it back again, North through Wardlaw.
Chance for Wardlaw. Oh, poor kick along the ground. Ryan has gathered. Got a hand pass to Wagner. Ran straight into traffic. Umpire says it'll be holding the ball. He took on the North defenders, going backwards. Got pinged for it. Instead, he kicks, looking to go into the right forward pocket. And he's missed the lot. Out of bounds on the full. Dockers will take the free kick from the left back pocket. Cox to Ryan and Chapman, who waits despite knowing that Fisher was closing in on him fast. He was able to mark it just to the right of the right hand behind post. 2 points the difference. North Melbourne in front, 19 gone in the second. Kick goes beyond defensive 50 from Chapman. Umpire spotted a holding decision. It's going the way of North Melbourne. Load will take it. It's against Amos. Hands it off to Davies Uniac. Disposal number 18. Belts it inside forward 50. Spills down off a big pack. Sheasel looked to knock it back. Helped on its way by O'Sullivan. Scooped up by Warner for Sharp. Misses his hand-passing target. Goes behind him. And then, unfortunately for Hardeman, he can't pick up the greasy footballs. It skids along the ground and goes across the boundary line. Left half forward still for the Kangaroos. 4-2-26 North. The Dockers 3-6-24. 20 minutes gone in the second term.
Inside 50 count, heavily favouring North Melbourne. Ball goes over the top of Jackson and Darling. Coming through Switkowski. Nice handball to Wagner. Defensive side of the wing. Kicks up looking for Sean Darcy. Can't take the mark. Spills out the back to Amos. The Dockers have a 3-on-1. Handballs to Voss. Across to Murphy Reid. Easy as you like. Fremantle are in front. Murphy Reid out the back. They had the numbers. They just needed to not stuff it up. And they didn't. The Dockers 4-6-30 as Murphy Reid gets his first. North Melbourne a 4-2-26. 4 point margin now the way of the home visiting side. 20 minutes gone. ABC Sport. I was wondering before, it's a really weird feeling when the umpire gets booed regardless of who he gives the free kick to. It's a really unusual feeling.
Well,
Peter Balcari, Antonio.
Dawson and Pink both committed themselves to the aerial contest against Darcy, and Amos swooped on the crumb, and they worked it out, the Freo trio, for an easy goal for Murphy Reid.
That's it. And they both landed on the ground, didn't they? Didn't keep their feet, and the +1 was evident, and they used it to their advantage, Fremantle.
I'm enjoying a slightly more neutral crowd than we're used to at Perth Stadium. Dockers up by 4 points in the restart. Bolton kicked straight into the chest. It ricocheted away. Trying to get to it then, unfortunately unable to do so, was Powell. Freo will have it again through Chapman across half back. Sweeping it forward to Brayshaw. Now to Bolton through the middle of the ground. Arches the back. Hands it off to Wagner. Runs towards the attacking edge of the centre square. Kicks towards full forward. Off the hands there of Jackson. And there's Voss, who gathers it in sheer delight. Almost leaps into the front row of the crowd at the City end. Punches the air in pure joy. There's a man who loves a celebration. And Voss has got his second. The Dockers have got their fifth. And their lead is out to double figures. 5-6-36, the 4-2-26, the Kangaroos. 22 gone in the second term.
Well, it was again quick turnover from half back. Four bodies flew, but a great front and centre crumb from the big fella Voss. Doesn't he love a celebration and a goal?
Just a really good ground ball win, wasn't it, Cara?
It
from
was.
Keith Chapman back at half back. Forward handball. Bolton sunned up the situation, and Wagner's been important the last few minutes.
How many goals did you kick in your time, Cara? Do you know?
Not enough.
Went always down that end of the ground. Out of the middle, the Dockers go again. Brayshaw taps it to the advantage of Wagner. In game 50, runs to 49. They'll love this, the Dockers. Salutes the air. And they get around Corey Wagner, the former Roo. Game 50, given a chance at a third club. The Dockers have embraced him. And he gets his first goal for the day, his second for the season. And Fremantle have 4 straight. They are now 6-6-42. North Melbourne are 4-2-26. 23 gone in the second. Momentum has swung.
It has, and I suppose that was an example of the two ruck system that Fremantle can turn to, because Cherry's been very good, Jackson's been banging up against him, but Darcy comes in a bit fresher, and it was a beautiful hit to advantage. Fremantle out the front door that time. Matty Johnson won the clearance.
Well, they're +7 this quarter for clearance, and 3 goals from stoppage, Fremantle.
Sherry wins the tap down. Parker gets the clearing kick away for North towards centre half forward. Scooped up there. Nicely done by Clark to Warner to Johnson. Hand pass to Chapman. Run down by Wardlaw. Ball jarred free. Taken by Powell for the Kangaroos. Gave it to Parker. Kicked into the right forward pocket. Curtis flipped it behind himself. Trying to get away was Bolton. Got tackled then by Fisher. Ball spills out towards Stevens. Rayner's got very heavy now. He kicks the Kangaroos towards full forward. Off hands. Banfield can't gather. Sheasel tries to keep it in. In the end, just tapped it into himself, and it went across the behind line to the right-hand side for a minor score. Curtis a little bit slow getting up off the deck. 6-6-42 the Dockers, 4-3-27 the Roos, 25 gone in the second.
Just caught one to the head, I think, Curtis. Just a little slow, as you mentioned, Clint. He's okay, though, moving inside the forward 50. The Dockers through Ryan go to the right back pocket, and Clark kicks up the wing, disposal 13, looking for Jackson, can't take the mark. Logan ground level, has to contend with Voss, couldn't take possession. Wagner was clean, knocked it to himself, then got it to Bolton. Little short kick to Switkowski, tucks it under the arm, takes off, forward handball to Voss, running on goal, celebrate again, Vossi. He drills it through, and there he goes, off and running. Like Shane Warne taking his 700 at the G. He just takes off, Patrick Voss. He's got 3, and the Dockers are flying. That's 5 in a row. And since North Melbourne kicked the opening goal of this second term at the 6-minute mark, it's been 5 goals to 1 behind, or 2 behinds now. They are all over North Melbourne. 7-6-48 to 4-3-27. Antonio Peterbell.
Weirdly, as the rain's got heavier, Fremantle have actually handled the ball better and looked more dangerous. They certainly scored more heavily, and that was a big ground ball win back up here from, again, Wagner, who's having a great 5 minutes.
Cash Fodor is downstairs in the wet.
Yeah, the North Melbourne doctor has gone out to Paul Curtis. Spent a fair bit of time assessing his jaw, but Curtis is staying out there and standing in the goal square.
It is absolutely persisting down now. Almost a wideout if you look towards the top of the stands. None of the 30,000 or so have braved and are sticking around in these conditions. 7-6 plays 4-3. Dockers in front. 5 unanswered goals, as Mitch told you. 27 minutes gone in the second term. In the middle of the ground, Davies Uniacke got the football for North. Kicked towards Darling at centre half forward. He couldn't mark. Going in there to try to gather was Clark. Tackled by Zurha. They look to hack it forward here, the Kangaroos. Constanti trying to find Curtis. Well done, Warner got in the way. Trying to again emerge with it after Brayshaw couldn't gather. The Dockers see Chapman wrapped up by Zurha. Ball up again inside forward 50 for North. Bucks lock arms. Sherry against Darcy, neither with the telling tap. It came down to Powell to Wardlaw, tackled by Erasmus, got the arms free to Stevens, goes back to Wardlaw, gathered at his bootlaces, threw it on the boot, kicks up in the air, trying to get out to it. Larkey couldn't quite get there on the full, picked it up off the deck to Constanti by hand, hands it again into the left forward pocket. O'Sullivan wrapped up, strong tackle, got by Warner. That'll be holding the ball. The Dockers take the advantage to Frederick at right half back. Now to Cox, hands it off towards Brayshaw, spilt it in the slippery conditions, just sockers it forward towards centre wing.
Logue intercepts it at ground level for North Melbourne on the logo. Off to Powell, kick towards Darling, punched away by Draper, ground level. Simpkin was tackled, dispossessed, holding the ball. This time they will not take the advantage for Dockers. It is, as Clint Wilden says, raining pretty heavily here in the west. Free kick to Brayshaw, plays on, kicks up towards Jackson. Close company from Lowe, couldn't take the mark. Frederick was strong, gathered, straight up in the tackle, off to Johnson, who kicks up towards Sean Darcy, and he drops the chest mark as he had a bit of space on Sherry, and it's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in right next to the Dockers bench. He's wet. I'll let him off for that one, Sean Darcy. It's fairly very heavy as it just keeps persisting. Waving across Perth Stadium. Plenty of ponchos in the stands of both purple and blue. Clark from the restart. High towards half forward. Big pack. No one can take the mark at the back of the pack. McKercher under pressure from Sharp, the two speedsters. McKercher happy to see it towards the boundary line. The umpire, as they do in these conditions, benefit of the doubt. It'll be a boundary throw in 35-40 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal. Right forward pocket. City end of Perth Stadium.
Pretty miserable conditions. Metal fans will be enjoying it though. The Freo chant going as it's thrown back in. This is everyone really. Eventually found there by Stevens. Gets a kick away to the middle of the ground. This is Zurha. Looks to play on in this torrential rain. Out towards Larkey, who spills the mark sliding out. Tough to grab this footy at the moment. Happy to receive it was Erasmus. Picked it up off the turf. Provided a Shepherd too for Sharp. His kick inboard stolen away though. Chance again to build up through Powell of the Kangaroos. Kicks across the centre circles to O'Sullivan. He'll move it out towards Darling. He'll mark on his chest. Uncontested. Just shy of left half forward. Kangaroos desperately need a goal before half time. Not long to go. Darling plays on to Hardiman. Puts the Roos towards left full forward. Curtis is there up against Ryan. Ball goes past him and over for a boundary throw-in.
Just a poor decision from Jeremy Sharp. It's torrential rain and you try and thread one through the corridor at attacking mid. The ground's opened up, no way to defend behind that kick.
See the water splashing off the Perspex roof of the benches down below us. The fans are ducking for cover. Fremantle cleared defensive 50. Hardiman can't take the mark for North, but it spills to Powell. Little handball across to McKercher. Wrong side for him. Gets it inside the forward 50. Ryan punches it away for Fremantle. Erasmus fell over. Lost the ball. Larkey on hands and knees. Gave it straight to Erasmus. Thought he was pushed in the back. Umpire said no. Stevens' kick spilled off the side of his boot. Clark gathers for the Dockers. Just tumbles one into the middle of Perth Stadium. Logue First there to win it back for North Melbourne. Gave it to McDonald. Gives it back to Logue at centre half back. Comes out to the broadcast side. Daniel takes it on the bounce. Goes very, very short. So O'Sullivan lucky to be 15. The umpire just wanted play to settle down a little bit as O'Sullivan marks on the chest and is able to trot back from the mark and run out the final seconds, you imagine, of this second term. Kick goes up the wing. Fist from Warner, and there is the half-time siren. And that'll bring the players some joy as they can hit the rooms, have a shower and put a fresh Guernsey on. It is the Dockers who lead the Roos 7-6-48 to 4-3-27. 21-point margin. 2 quarters played here at Perth Stadium.
So a 5-goal-to-1 term in favour of the Fremantle Dockers, and they kicked those 5 unanswered as well at the 9th, 21st, 23rd, 23rd, and then 26-minute mark of that term. Patrick Voss, the great goal celebrator, has 3. And the rest are singles to Jackson, Bolton, Murphy, Reid and Wagner. While for North Melbourne, their goals, Sheasel, Davies-Uniacke, Fisher, and in that quarter, Larkey with a goal in the 6th minute. A couple other scores to bring you up to date with before we hear from our experts. 2 games earlier today. The Giants beat Brisbane 17-5, 107 to 13-18-96. So an 11-point win for the Giants. And Geelong, too good for the Bombers by 95 points. The Cats, 23-13, 151 to Essendon, 8-56. For Geelong now, they've won 5 unanswered games. And they set up a clash in Geelong with Brisbane next week. In the cricket, the Aussies have captured another wicket. So that's not a bad result for the Australians then. They've got Stark's got Stubbs out for 8, bowled by Stark, so he departs for 8. South Africa 4 for 242, but they require just 40. They require just 40 runs to victory here, the South African side, to win the ICC World Test Championship. And
what's your favourite Dumb and Dumber quote?
You're telling me there's a chance. Well, there is. There is a chance. South Africa need 40 runs. Lots can happen.
What happened to all that 1 in a million talk?
What's that one?
Same.
Oh,
same move.
Yeah, they lost about 8 for 20 odd. Very in the
7, I think.
In the first innings.
Yeah. Well,
just putting it out there.
Who knows? Certainly, I'd rather be in South Africa's camp than I would be in Australia, and I'd also say this is one of those great cliches. Good for cricket if South Africa win the Mace. Having said that, I'd love to see Australia storm back from here. But if you want to follow that, of course, there is commentary available on the ABC Listen app. Let's turn our attention back to what is now a very wet Perth Stadium. Not sure we were quite expecting this amount of rain when we rolled up earlier at 18 degrees, slightly overcast and a 25% chance of showers. That's 100% for the rest of it. It seems to have set in for some time. What did you make of things? Peter Bell, Cara, Antonio, with Fremantle up by 21 points at the half.
Well, the rain brought with it some good fortune and form for Fremantle because North had been excellent pressure. I mentioned during the call their ability to put frontal pressure on Fremantle and force them backwards. But you saw Fremantle arrest momentum, which is a credit to them. And then when the rain came, Cara, the ability to handle the ball more cleanly and get those long plays. So Ford stretching back to goals, clean through the midfield, and then long forward handballs as well. Really opened up some scoring momentum for Freo. They got a lot of scores from stoppage in that second quarter, and just a couple of players in particular I thought that were really important. Well, Voss we'll call it a trio of players because Voss was clearly getting on the end of a few, but Wagner and Clark across half-back. Wagner midfield, Clark across half-back gave Fremantle enormous drive in that second quarter particularly.
I reckon it was a tale of almost 2 halves of that quarter as well, Bally. The first half, you could tell North Melbourne, they came out again. They're, 2-1, pressure to the ball carrier. They outnumber a contest, and they were effective tackles that were sticking. And then you're right, the rain came down and Fremantle looked cleaner, they looked more composed, and North Melbourne almost looked out on their haunches at times, just a little bit slow to react. And Fremantle made the most of their opportunities going inside forward 50. They got on top of clearance. They're now +3, and they scored 3 of their 5 goals from that quarter from stoppage. So you can tell that obviously when Cherry is off, they're trying to get on top in and around contest and really come out the front and chain their way out, get quick ball movement inside forward 50. Because North Melbourne, they had +6 inside 50s that quarter, but for me, it's just that forward connection and method. For North, they're blazing away the long ball in, and we know that just plays into the hands of the Fremantle defenders, and they can fly the aerial presence and then get numbers at ground level. So for me, North Melbourne just need to tidy it up a little bit. If they want to score more, they've only taken 2 marks inside forward 50 because the long bombs aren't working at the moment. A lot of their goals are coming from stoppage, as we've spoken about.
And they're not going to work particularly if conditions persist as we're witnessing right now. A pretty steady sort of rain. Ball's going to get harder and harder to mark and control, particularly in the air. So they will have to play a meterage game, and even Fremantle, who were scintillating with their ball movement in the wet, and that's consecutive games where they've done that because they were very good up at the Gold Coast as well when there was a bit of rain around, so full credit to them. But they look better placed just with a bit more structure, bringing their forwards up really, really high and then ripping back to goal. And once they get that forward handball chain going, it's impossible to stop. So they'll look to do more of that. One area I would like them to address, and it's been a bit of a bugbear for a while, they do have a habit of Fremantle, that is, when there are long down the line contests, not getting to the right spot, so exactly where you'd want to be on a front and square. Interestingly, that changed a bit later in that second quarter, and when they were running to the right spots, we saw how damaging that could be with the clean sort of crumbs and then stretching back to goal. So I was really impressed with North Melbourne. I was wondering if Fremantle were going to be able to find a way to arrest the momentum back, and to their credit, they did.
And just looking at the stats as well, we spoke about Davey Zuniak, dominated that first quarter, had a number of clearances, had 0 clearances in the second quarter, and only the 5 touches going at 40%. So I didn't notice a hard tag. I don't know if you did, but clearly someone's going to him and put a bit of work into him in that second quarter because, again, Fremantle got on top in clearance in that second quarter.
Yeah, saw a little bit of at stoppage. I think it was Neil Erasmus was spending some time in his area, but it looked to me more like a team sort of focus to try and cut out this guy's influence, because he was absolutely instrumental in the lead and the momentum that North had for the majority of that half.
You'll never believe it. The rain has eased. It's still raining, but it has actually eased. So fingers crossed for maybe a less wet second half. Certainly a Cash photo. I'll be very keen for that to happen downstairs. Fremantle by 21 points, 7-6-48 to North Melbourne's 4-3-27. Just a quick update again for you from the World Test Championship. South Africa now need 35 runs to claim the mace under bright and sunny conditions at Lords. They're 4 for 247, and most impressively, it does have to be said, this is really just a top-notch effort. Aidan Markram is 120 unbeaten. David Bettingham has just joined him out there on 1, but South Africa need 35 runs to claim the World Test Championship. Plenty more to come. Can North Melbourne find a way back into this contest? We'll find out very shortly, but right now let's pause and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. Iranian state media are reporting that Iran has warned the United States, Britain and France that their bases and ships in the region will be targeted if they help to stop its strikes on Israel. It comes as there are reports of new Israeli strikes on Iran, including on a missile complex and a refinery. At the same time, Iranian media are reporting that 5 people have been arrested in Iran for taking pictures and collaborating with Israel. The latest Israeli strikes on Iran follow Iranian strikes in retaliation for Israel's assault on Iranian nuclear facilities, which Tehran says killed 78 people. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles says that Australia is deeply concerned about tensions in the Middle East. He says all Australian embassy staff in both Tehran and Tel Aviv are accounted for and safe. He's advised other Australians in the region to seek shelter. Mr Marles says Australia is particularly concerned about the risk of further escalation.
We are calling on all parties to prioritise dialogue and diplomacy. We specifically call on Iran to exercise restraint in their actions so as not to risk any broader conflict.
Police have arrested a teenager and are searching for another one following an assault and a stabbing in southeastern Melbourne yesterday. Joshua Allen reports.
Police allege two males assaulted a 70-year-old man at a pharmacy in Keysborough just before 5 p.m. after he tried to intervene as they left with suspected stolen items. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the pair also allegedly stabbed a 16-year-old boy at a bus stop in Dingley Village in what they believe was an unprovoked attack. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Police arrested a 19-year-old man at an address in Bond Beach today. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and is set to be interviewed later. The search for a second man continues.
A new parliamentary inquiry into the safety of e-ridables will be established by the Western Australian Government following the death of a Perth father. The man, 51-year-old Tan Phan, was in Perth CBD last month when he was struck by an e-scooter. He's the first pedestrian to be killed in such an incident and the fifth death involving e-ridables in the state this year. The inquiry will look at potential safety regulations and consider tougher penalties for illegal behaviour. South Australian police are appealing for information to help solve the cold case of a man who disappeared 20 years ago. Eva Blandis has the story.
38-year-old Stephen Williams, a former Gypsy Jokers president, was last seen at a hotel in Jepps Cross on June 14, 2005. Police say it's believed the debt collector was murdered after being dropped off at a trucking company at Gilman to collect money from someone who worked there. Police say it's likely his body was removed from the business in the back of a white ute, covered by a tarpaulin. No trace of him has ever been found. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers with a $200,000 reward on offer for any information that leads to a conviction or the recovery of Williams' remains.
An unexploded bomb discovered on a top-end beach yesterday has been detonated, with Nhulunbuy residents hearing a loud blast earlier today. Yesterday, police cordoned off a part of Nhulumbuy's town beach after the device was found, and bomb disposal experts were flown into the remote town. Bombs were dropped across all of the top end during the Second World War and are still found from time to time, although authorities are yet to confirm the origin of the device found yesterday. This resident says the whole town must have heard the blasts this morning.
We were all aware that the town beach had closed off, and we knew something was there, but we didn't know that they were about to, detonate it or whatever they did. But yeah, everyone heard it around town. It was crazy.
Turning to sport now, and Queensland's star fullback, Kalen Ponga, is dealing with questions about his future in rugby league ahead of State of Origin Game 2 against New South Wales in Perth on Wednesday. The Maroons are looking to level the series in WA after losing the opening match to New South Wales in Brisbane. Ponga has 2 years left on his contract with Newcastle, making him a possible target for the new Perth Bears franchise, which will get underway in 2027. He says he's also aware of speculation that he's considering a switch to rugby union.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff come up, but my focus is obviously here and being in this camp. It's nice to think or to fantasise about that sort of stuff, but I've got a job to do in 4 days, let alone 3 years. Yeah, I've just been focusing on what job I have now.
Meanwhile, Ponga's club side has suffered a narrow loss to the Sydney Roosters in Newcastle today, 12 points to 8.
Meet the people who dare to imagine.
Making colour sing. You feel it.
In Picasso, the piano, the Classic 100 and creative types with Virginia Trioli.
Give me more of that.
Where it's always free, always creative. ABC iView.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Jordan Clark pushed off it as he kicked. Great effort by Davies Uniacke. Spills to Powell. Off to Riley Hardiman. North go inside the forward 50 in the turnover. Kills the Dockers as Larkey got out the back. Was able to take the mark. And I don't want to mock him, but he is someone you don't want to give too many set shots to, Nick Larkey. Is Nick Larkey on today? Yes, he is. The sharpshooter is here. He gets his first goal of the evening.
Tracy, tacking edge of the centre square, kicks towards full forward. Jackson, arms high up above his head, dragging in the mark at full forward for Freo. Here comes big Luke Jackson, 4-2 for the season. He's right in front. Pops it through for Freo.
Wagner, defensive side of the wing, kicks up looking for Sean Darcy, can't take the mark,
spills out the back to Amos. The Dockers have a 3-on-1. Handball to Voss. Across to Murphy Reid. Easy as you like. Fremantle are in front.
Wagner runs towards the attacking edge of the centre square, kicks towards full forward, off the hands there of Jackson, and there's Voss, who gathers and in sheer delight almost leaps into the front row of the crowd at the City end, punches the air in pure joy.
Out of the middle, the Dockers go again. Brayshaw taps it to the advantage of Wagner. In game 50, runs to 49. They love this, the Dockers. Salutes the air. And they get around Corey Wagner. Bolton, little short kick to Switkowski. Tucks it under the arm. Takes off. Forward handball to Voss. Running on goal. Celebrating again, Vossi. He drills it through and there he goes. Off and running. Like Shane Warne's 700 at the G. He just takes off Patrick Voss. He's got 3 and the Dockers are flying. That's 5 in a row.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Rain has eased a little bit more. It's still sprinkling here at Perth Stadium, but not what it was, which was pretty much torrential at stages during that second term. Indeed, our television broadcasters downstairs have decided to even dispense with the umbrellas. So no concerns about the makeup running downstairs. That is good news for the footballers. The Dockers have made their way back out onto the ground. Can bring you up to date with the scores at a very sunny Lords. The World Test Championship. South Africa 4 for 251 in its second innings. Markham is 125, Bettingham 5, so they need another 31 runs to win. We promised to go through a couple of text messages for you. Brett in Canberra, hi team, great call. Why are we so worried about a roof in Tassie when you see conditions like this in Perth? Thanks. It's not a bad shout. It's still a damn sight warmer than it is in Tasmania. What is it at the moment? It was around about 18 degrees when we started. I think it's much more than that. Oh, it's a balmy 15 degrees. So that's a lot more comfortable than what we saw in Tassie. And I do accept Brett as someone who was, believe it or not, born in Canberra. Spent a bit of time in Canberra. Canberra is another very chilly place. And we're quite happy to play the odd game at Manuka Oval and occasionally in the snow as well. Marcus in South Melbourne, the KO broadcast tonight is over 3 minutes behind the actual game time and there's no free-to-air coverage. The AFL broadcast deal's a joke, thank goodness for the ABC. We're always happy to bring you the footy as it happens. Marcus, thank you very much for getting in touch. Now, this is an interesting one. I did promise I'd read it out, but Steve from Ballarat says this on 0437 774 774. I appreciate North Melbourne need the money, but if you were an Aussie Battler North member, you couldn't be happy about the Roos selling 2 home games to WA. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? That's from Steve of Ballarat. Well, I accept that you would rather have your football club play every game at home, but the most important thing for a football club is to keep the doors open. The memberships this year for North, just like they didn't include the Tasmanian games, didn't include these games. So you haven't been dudded out of your cash of 2 home games. And North have been able to pocket $2.5 million. And if they can continue to go down to Bunbury and make that a bit of a fortress, well, it sweetens the deal in regards to picking up some points away from home. I get it. One of the big criticisms about this will be, and we heard from Jake Noel on the Sunday Footy Forum last week, about what if Fremantle make a top 4 spot by one of these wins that gets them there is against North Melbourne, or a game that they have sold to Fremantle. Well, they've tried to balance that out because it'll be West Coast who host them at Perth Stadium next year and then goes back to Fremantle the year after that. It's not perfect, but it's just not a perfect competition and can't be anyway until either we play every team twice or every team once. And it's not perfect with the amount of travel, as we know. Collingwood travel twice more for the rest of this season. And it's the one that I always like to bring up. And by the way, before you shoot me, I'm a fan of the grand finals being at the MCG. But if you ignore the 2 COVID years, 8 of the last 15 premiers outside of the 2 COVID years have been won by a home tenant at the MCG. So you can't tell me on the game that matters more than anything else, those clubs don't have a massive advantage over everybody else, whether or not they're a Melbourne-based club. But we're all, myself included, happy to accept that as part of what is really an inequitable competition.
And the idea of selling games at this stage of a build is further reinforced if there has been some kind of commitment from the AFL that you won't be playing away in Perth during the duration of this agreement. So you come over here once,
That's
one
exactly
week,
right.
you play the two West Australian clubs, you're not sent back there another time to play the genuine away fixture.
But it runs for 3 years, which North Melbourne probably strategically think by that stage we should be contending for finals.
And then they reassess.
And they reset, and they don't have to do it. So,
and I always
$7.5 million.
I'd always admire a football club who, rather than going back to the AFL and putting the hand out for more money, which a couple of the Melbourne clubs do, except the Northern clubs, it's different with the Northern clubs, but they're trying to sort their finances out themselves. And, again, this is the other thing that's worth mentioning. The last 2 times that these clubs played at the Docklands, they failed to drag 20,000 in. So if they get 30,000 plus tonight, that's another win for both of these football clubs.
Plus North won last week.
And they look like it from being down there. That was a 70% North Melbourne crowd. Not so today, but we're underway in this, the third term, and with the Dockers leading by 21 points. Here's Mitch Turner.
Soggy conditions, so the umpire throws it up in the air instead of the bounce. Comes out to Bolton, handball back to Clark. Wasn't a great one, had to go get it, was pulled off the ball. In there, Sarong, handballs back to Bolton. Nice, clever, short kick back into the centre square to Luke Jackson. Starting in the ruck again, opposed to Sherry, as he did in the previous 2 quarters. Comes wide to the broadcast swing. Matthew Johnson, game 50, goes short to Luke Ryan. Umpire said it wasn't 15. He broke the tackle of Paul Curtis, stood up well, handballed back to Johnson, who horrible kick across the centre square. It's picked off by Zerha, whose kick on goal is away to the left. It was an open 50. And the man with the keys to Bunbury couldn't seal the deal. It's a minor score to open proceedings in the second half. 4-4, 28. North Melbourne, 7-6, 48. The Fremantle Dockers.
That was funny from Cam Zerha. Got the keys to the city from the mayor after the last game and said, they're old and they don't open anything. I'm not really sure what to do with them. That was outstanding work from him. Kick beyond defensive 50. It's off the hands of Brendan Cox and cut over for a boundary throw-in.
He's looking a bit ginger, Zerha, as well, just coming out after half-time, so not sure if that ankle that he hurt in that first half is playing a little bit of havoc on his mind.
Throwing it left half forward for the Kangaroos, who trail by 20 points. Back into play. Brayshaw might have been taken high by Sherry. He was. Sherry didn't get shoved out of it by Sarong, who needs to be careful not to get that free kick reversed. Going to be Brayshaw's free kick for the Dockers. Goes on a bit of a run. Mind you, it would have looked crazy if Sarong did push Sherry actually over. Sarong kicks down the line and he finds Tracy, who marks again, getting in front of Pink. He's just in front of the logo on the southern wing. Gesticulating wildly. Goes on a run inside, gets a kick away and then tumbles over Pink. The ball deep inside forward 50, travels the pack. Amos tried to soccer it off the ground, missed it, allowed Stevens to pick it up. Gave it off to McKercher. The kick is dangerously close to the boundary line. It's just flicked in field of play, but it's going to be insufficient intent.
Harsh, isn't it?
Zerha thought he was in the vicinity. I reckon that might be a bit harsh. What are they going to do here?
Score review on the goal line.
Okay. That's what's happening. Going back to the score review as we have a little look in the goal square. Here we go on the board. Did McKercher take this across the line himself? I reckon it's gone along the line. It was as he stepped, his hands swung out with the ball in them to the right.
Bit of niggle at the moment in the game.
Is that crossed? I'm not sure.
Not the whole ball.
Surely that's going to be. We'll just play on. And that's exactly what is going to happen. Free kick to Fremantle at left half forward. It's in the hands of Carl Warner. Dockers lead by 20 points. 3 minutes gone into the third.
Carl Warner, just beyond his range, you'd imagine, never kicked a goal. Goes laterally and slightly back to Jordan Clark, who stands forward, attacking side of centre wing. Kicks inside the forward 50. Tracy in front, can't mark. Spills to McDonald of the Roos. High kick outside defensive 50. Larky did well to make a contest. Spilled down to Parker. He was tackled. Dispossessed. Umpire said he disposed of it illegally. Didn't have a lot of prior opportunities. He crashed in hard, but Sarong will receive the free kick. He's just inside the centre square, sets up to the top of the goal square. Voss got a fist in over the back. Spilled down to Stevens for North Melbourne. Handball to Sherry. Kick out looking for Darling, who takes a nice mark and keeps his feet as well. Just beyond right half back, the former Eagle, who gets a couple of boosts because the old Derby fans of the Dockers here will remember the Eagles' days. Darling, kick up the wing. Couple flyers from North Melbourne. They all missed it as Davies Uniacke comes in, sockers it straight out of bounds. There's insufficient intent. It's the wrong free kick, and he goes laterally to Ryan.
Ryan marks. Curtis stands the mark. Ryan steps off his line. He's back inside his defensive 50 now. Kicks right into the middle of the ground. No mark taken. Jackson thought he was being infringed. Sherry not sure what that kick was at all from Sherry. He just dribbled forward. Brayshaw was happy to get there for the Dockers. Gave it to Bolton. Tries to work it out towards the commentary wing. Picked up off the ground by Sarong. Lovely hand pass over the top to Bolton. He takes a bounce. Then a second. The ball skipped away from him on the wet surface. Went back and by hand it gets it on the bounce to Johnson. Worked himself away from Darling. Kicks towards full forward. Jackson flew. Spoil came from Logue. Payon says the umpire. Sheasel worked it to Daniel. Kicked beyond defensive 50. Great mark, Darling. One-handed against Draper at right half back for the Kangaroos. He dragged that in. They trail by 20 points, the Kangas. 5 gone in the third.
It's a great mark by Darling and a beautiful kick up the wing to Larkey, but their attacking targets are a long way from home. Larkey's kick inboard was a shocker. Chomped off by the Dockers. Bolton. Looping handball to Murphy Reid. Taps it to his own advantage. Handball forward to Frederick. Runs to 50. Spills the ball. Has to go back in. McKercher there to crash it and knock it away for him. Gets it to Daniel. North Melbourne have it back. Handball to Stevens. Kick up the wing. Strong mark taken in front by Cox of the Dockers on the logo. Slightly dangerous kick back into the middle of the centre square to Chapman. Takes the mark. Handballs to Clark. Full switch. Now complete to the outer wing. Mark taken by Jeremy Sharp. Warner running past. Chose to ignore him. Went short. Instead to Brayshaw. Marks. Plays on. Kicks in the pocket looking for Jackson. Can't mark. Spills it. Dawson gathers it for North Melbourne. Off to Pink. His kick outside. Defensive 50 is marked by Warner in the long sleeves. Kick and a half from home.
They're in the stealth jumper tonight, the Dockers. Black with the 3 almost electric purple chevrons on the front. Here's Brayshaw from right half forward. Kicks towards a pack at full foot. Offhand. Stephen at the back. Tried to work it forward. Back into traffic. Tracy couldn't pick it up. Murphy Reid had it at his boot straps. He couldn't get there. Voss looked to knock it out. Switkowski might have been held without it. Still goes. Now runs into the tackle of Stevens. He's taken to ground. Logue assisting. The ball up just in front of the goal square for the Dockers. Jackson palmed it down. McKercher got to it. Reid got him. He lost possession of the football. Dawson tried to tap it back. And sensibly, Powell eventually just takes it across the behind line for a rush behind. Back to a 21-point margin. 7-7-49 the Dockers. 4-4-28 the Roos. 7.5 gone third term.
Quick play on. Out of fullback by North Melbourne. Ends up through McDonald to Daniel. Out of side of the ground. Nice kick up the wing and doing a mountain of work this quarter is Darling. Takes another mark presenting on the lead. Plays on. Runs into a little bit of trouble as he kicks up towards half forward. Chapman cuts in front. Tries to punch it away towards the boundary. Couldn't get it there. Nice bit of footwork by Fisher for the Roos. Gathered. Handballs over the top. Tucked in the pocket. Gets it back. Fisher continues his run. Breaks the tackle. Kicks on goal. Misses everything. He's had some chances in the West the last 7 days, Zach Fisher. It's out on the full across the face, and Fremantle have it back. Kick from Johnson is brought in to the middle of 50 to Brayshaw.
Nick Larkey, who's now on the mark, was screaming for it in the goal square as well. As Brayshaw kicks towards left half back, and Johnson drags in the mark hard up against the boundary line.
What's noticeable is that nowhere near the same intensity so far in this third quarter from the first half.
Oh, Reid waited for the Johnson kick. Pink didn't. Got in front and punches it over the boundary line for a spoil. Neutral ball on centre wing.
It's turned into a low-skill kick-mark game. Lots of pockets of space all over the oval.
Wait for the boundary umpire to unfurl. It's here on the northern wing. It's He's high up into the air. Two rucks wait underneath it. Sherry got out the right arm, tapped it down to Sheasel, threw it on the boot, kicks inside forward 50. Larkey couldn't mark. It's off his hands. Here's Curtis who gathers. Gives the don't argue to Chapman. Works his way onto his left from 49 out. Kicks the Darling. Who marks?
It was touched.
Touched on the way through, was it?
Touched off the boot, yep.
Didn't see that, I'll be fair, but the umpire has now signalled it. So Darling thought he was going to mark it. Instead, it's going to be a ball up at left full forward. Bit of push and shove here between Chapman and Wardlaw. One down by Sherry for North. Still there to be claimed. Wardlaw had two goes at it, then a third. Decides not to gather this time. Slapped it back to Fisher. Hands it back again. Comes towards Dawson. O'Sullivan's kick is smothered by Sarong. Diving out off Sarong's hands and over the boundary line for a throw-in left half forward for the Kangaroos, who remain trailing by 21 points in this third term. We've travelled almost 10 minutes. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Our experts Cara Antonio and Peter Bell. Your commentators Clint Wilden and this man, Mitch Turner.
Darcy beats Sherry in the ruck, and Sherry just punches it towards the boundary line. It bounces a couple of times before it goes over, which is okay. I'll be honest, I didn't see the touch either. I put the binoculars down and thought, here goes Jack, but he might get another chance. He's having a good quarter, Jack Darling. He stands in the goal square now. The ball is tossed in at the 50. Darcy in front, tapped it down. Wardlaw went without it. Eventually got it from Sheasel. Kick inside the 50 on the chest of Paul Curtis. Get a chance to go back and kick his first goal of the day. He's got the trivia spot of being the first player to kick a goal in Bunbury for premiership points.
I've never understood the sagging off an opponent when the ball is a kick away. So sagging off and hoping to cascade back, but a quick kick out, you're caught behind.
One of the most improved players in the AFL can't improve. North Melbourne's goal-kicking efforts today. He misses to the left, 4-5-29 the Kangaroos. Fremantle, 7-7-49 margin. 20 points, 11 minutes into the third term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
I'd be proud of that, Moz. That was a great Moz. Kick beyond defensive 50 for the Dockers. They've turned it over, the kicking duties. O'Sullivan marks it from Clark's kick. Goes short to Curtis and finds Sheasel, who's able to mark despite the best efforts of Clark to get there. Hard up against the boundary. Left forward pocket. He marked it about 45 from goal. Sheasel says, I'm going to have a try here. But he's certainly got the ability to kick it. It's going to be tough. He stands hard against the fence. The orange boots will now cross the boundary line. He'll run to 50 out. He's going to send it up into the air. Massive packet full forward. Tracy got hands to it, spilled down to Erasmus, got it back to Tracy, just threw it on the boot. Anywhere would do. It will stay in play. North will gather through Stevens at right half forward, hands it back to Hardiman. Pressure came from Frederick, hands it back to Pink. Takes a couple of steps forward for the Roos. From right half forward to the right forward pocket, spoil came from Cox. Looking for it was Larkey. Cox made sure of it, thumping it over the boundary line with the fist. Throw in 45 out. And the Kangaroos attacking goal in the right forward pocket. Dockers still lead by 20 points, 13 gone in the third.
Dockers holding that lead. Defending on this occasion, though, in front from the restart. Sherry, soft hand down. Curtis ran past it. Wagner couldn't take it. Clark on hands and knees, straight into the path of Davies-Uniacke. His handball looking for Constanti, couldn't gather. Curtis was clean. Little handball to Simpkin, bumped as he kicked inside 50. Ricochets off bodies. Jackson's there. 45 out for the Dockers in defence. Got it to Warner. He was run down. Didn't have enough prior, said the umpire, as Curtis got him. It was tight. It would have been a hot decision. Instead, umpire will ball it up. Sherry beat Darcy. Darcy gives him a little love tap to the stomach. Sherry punches over. Umpire's having a conversation, says nothing in it. Ball tossed up, tapped down towards Jackson, playing as a rover on this occasion. He can't take possession as he's tackled.
Wagner wearing LDU like an absolute glove this quarter as well around stoppage.
Luke Jackson standing next to Harry Sheasel. He is playing the midfield role. Darcy's in the ruck. He taps it down straight to LDU. Tackled by Wagner. Coming through Warner. Got a handball towards Darcy. Eventually the ruckman gets it to Clark, who gets one out to Johnson. Wide handball into space. Now Fremantle can release. Sharp gathers. Looking for an option. Handballs over the top to Erasmus.
Erasmus off one step will then kick and turn it over down the throat of Wardlaw. His kick is inboard and he finds Sheasel, who elects to play on, running by McKercher. From almost halfway, he'll send it inside forward 50. Larky couldn't mark. Socket forward by Darling. The ball should be socket again. O'Sullivan just missed it. Had a fresh airing. Was there to be picked up or socket? He did neither. And the Dockers can rebound through right half back. Here's Wagner. Handing it over the top to Sarong. Sarong with space, selects to use it and got it onto Switkowski at right half forward.
Switkowski's handball across to Johnson. Back to Switkowski under pressure. 55 from home, over the head of Voss. Through though to Frederick. Left foot snap, not enough on it, and Pink spills the chest mark over the boundary for a rush behind. 7-8-4-50. It should be once it updates. It is. North Melbourne 4-5-29 as they bring it into McKercher. What you didn't see there is Erasmus got blocked by the umpire as O'Sullivan missed it, so it was a calamity of errors.
I was so focused on O'Sullivan and then so stunned by the miss.
Calamity of errors could describe the last 7 minutes of this game.
Yeah. It's been all lemony snickets, a series of unfortunate events as North will kick inside forward 50 and they miss their target in Parker. Allowed to bounce. Cox got a hand pass away to Chapman for the Dockers. And here's Banfield. Deep in the left back pocket. He takes a bounce. Moves it onto the left. Goes kicking towards Frederick. Couldn't mark. Spilled down to Darling on the wing. Worked it again to Powell. Onto Sheasel. Under pressure. Was able to get it back to Darling, who slapped it along the ground to Stevens. Popped it over the top to Sheasel. Or crunched by Johnson. Somehow manufactured a hand pass out to Fisher. Hand pass too hot for McKercher. He couldn't gather. Switkowski battles away. McKercher managed to get a hand pass out of trouble. Only as far as Johnson at left half back though. Johnson for the Dockers. Out towards Ryan. Hard up against the boundary. He was happy to see the oncoming Stevens and then just take the step across the line for a throw-in. 52 out from North's goal. Right half forward. The Kangaroos are 4-5-29. The Dockers 7-8-50, 16 gone in what has been a forgettable third quarter so far.
Ball spun back in, Darcy and Darling off hands. Wrong's kick was smothered by Sheasel, then spun out of traffic, did well. Got it to Powell. His kick to half forward is marked by Jordan Clark of the Dockers.
I was going to say uninspiring, but it's not even that good.
It's North Melbourne and Fremantle. They have the ability to toss up these moments at times, we will say. Fremantle lead by 21 points. Kick out the wing. Dropped by Toby Pink. Bolton coming through. He shows a bit of class. Takes the bounce. Runs away from Daniel. Chip over the top. Is marked by Murphy Reid. Has players forward. At his back to them. And in the end will try and make the journey. We'll kick from 50. Slightly worse than 45-degree angle to the left.
Bit of class there from Bolton. Great ground ball. Don't like that when players turn their back on their teammates forward. This will be right on his limit, Murphy Reid. The players out. At least have a look, see what unfolds. 100%. Just what are you gain from turning your back?
Well, they say is you'd want to kick it.
Absolutely.
Murphy Reid comes in. He has one goal to his name already. Murphy Reid strikes it from just inside 50. It's out to the right on the goal line. Big fist in the air came from Darling and it goes over the line for what will be a rush behind. No, it won't. They'll check the score review because that's what we do. There's a goal umpire, I'd say, less than a metre away from Jack Darling there? Make a decision, please. Darling fisted it up in the air, then was able to grab it on the second attempt, which is over the line, so it'll be a rush behind. But the umpire is right there.
You have to see that. He's standing less than a metre away.
On the right side as well.
Replace him with cameras and an arc. There's no point if you can't call that. But you are right there.
There was no other player in the vicinity. It's not close to the post.
The camera angle is the goal umpire is looking straight at Darling, not opposed by anything. Oh, it's a rush behind in the end. So that'll be 7-9-51 for Fremantle, 4-5-29 for North Melbourne, 18.5 in. It's just not a great advertisement for goal umpires who want to keep their jobs.
I know the argument is they've got to get it right. We just had to get that right from where you were standing. Hits towards left half back. It's off hands. Pack there, and it's going to go out for a boundary throw-in. Interesting. Third quarter clangers, by the way, 18-7 for North Melbourne, which pretty much sums up the turn from the restart. Been taken here by Sherry, who was tackled by Jackson.
And only 5 points scored for the quarter. No major yet.
So different to when it was bucketing down. The quality of football was substantially better. How strange. As Wardlaw kicked around the body, bounces along the commentary wing and eventually just takes a little turn just as Draper was trying to bring it away. And out for a boundary throw-in. They work their way up the line here, North Melbourne, to be just shy of left half forward. 7-9-51 to 4-5-29. The Dockers still lead as we're about to hit time on in this average, at best, third term. Sarong bringing it away to Switkowski, who leapt up into the air, bounced into Wardlaw, got a hand pass to Wagner, then gave it to Brayshaw, almost tackled by one, then two Kangaroos. Found a way through and then found Sarong, who marks. Plays on by hand to Clark. Delivers inside forward 50. Can't find a target. McDonald, furthest player back, scoops it up. In the right back pocket, kicks high up into the air. Johnson juggles it, couldn't mark it. Down in the direction of Bolton, tried to step his way around Fisher. He's been wrapped up here. It's going to be a holding the ball call. Fisher, certainly the prior opportunity was there by Bolton, and Fisher gets the free kick and he flares it out to Pink in the left back pocket.
Goes for a run, Toby Pink. Kicks up the wing to absolutely no one of his own team. Luke Jackson marks at about 20 metres in the clear.
I would love for some class to insert themselves into this quarter. Either side, please.
Jackson has the ball, backward of the wing. Can he pick out a North Melbourne player again? Yes, no. Pink drops the mark. Spills out the back, taken by McDonald. Handballs towards O'Sullivan. Just go out of bounds. It stays in. He's got Erasmus for company. Handballs it to Brayshaw, who misses his intended target in Draper. Allows Sherry to gather on the southern wing. Give it to Luke Parker. Kicks up towards Zerha. Over his head at the back. Larkey is contending with Brennan Cox. Neither of them are taking possession. It spills out to Wardlaw. George, kick the goal. He can't. It goes straight up in the air. And it will be marked by Bailey Banfield on the last line of defence. He'll go short to Chapman. They're so tired, the players too, because it's just ping-ponging. It's the Dockers by 22 points.
But at the moment, there's no rain. If you joined us in the second term, when the footy was pretty good, it was bucketing down. But now the rain has departed, and so has most of the quality football as the Dockers bring it towards centre wing. Unable to mark was Amos. Bolton does show class, working it on to Reid, who pauses. Bolton continues his run forward. Reid kicks inboard, diving backwards. Good mark, Switkowski. And that is at 50 it is against Sheasel. Switkowski was up, trying to get up to his feet. Sheasel tackled him. That'll bring Switkowski inside forward 50. And a chance for the first goal of this term. He'll put boot to ball from about 35 out. He'll start in line with the left-hand goalpost.
And I asked for some class, and it was supplied by Murphy Reid. Just summed up the situation. Difficult kick inboard, but sets up the opportunity for Switkowski. Short 50.
Very short 50. Good kick that.
Switkowski looking to make it 6 unanswered goals for the Dockers, and their first, and indeed the first of this quarter. Here he comes. Switkowski puts boot to ball. First goal of the term. 6 unanswered goals for the Fremantle Dockers. Sam Switkowski puts his name on the list of goal kickers, and he puts Fremantle's lead out to a game-high 28 points. 8-9-57. That's the Dockers. The Kangaroos 4-5-29. An update for you from Lords, the World Test Championship. South Africa needs 7 runs to claim the mace. They're currently 4 for 275 in their second innings. They're on their way to victory in the World Test Championship. We'll bring you that when the result happens. But first, let's get the thoughts of our experts here at Perth Stadium. Peter Bell and Cara Antonio.
Just a brain fade, I think, from Harry Sheasel, but I think all players on both sides took a big sigh of relief that there was a stop in play so that everyone could catch their breath. And really, it's been a nothing quarter with the one major scored.
Back in the middle, Sherry v. Jackson. Tap came down to Parker, who's in the centre square. Gets the clearance up towards half forward. Banfield and Wardlaw went at it, coming through Curtis. He's tackled by Banfield. Misses the umpire as he tries to throw it back. A few of the Freo players appealing for a free kick. I don't think there was anything untoward. 24 minutes into the third term. Jackson and Sherry tackle and tie up again. Tap down Parker. Once again, first hands on it. Tackled high as he went low, gathered it at ground level. He wanted it more, and this is what we saw last week from North Melbourne. Parker into the middle. He'll have a set shot from outside 50, slight angle to the right.
He was very vocal at half-time, talking to the entire team out on the field for a couple of minutes, and I reckon he was saying, we've lost momentum here, but stick to the plan. It got us into the game. I love this goal.
He's one of two premiership players out there for North Melbourne, the former Swan. Luke Parker. Booming kick from the paint of 50. That's a terrific finish from one of their leaders. North Melbourne are up and about. They finally find a goal, their first since the 6-minute mark of the second term. It comes 25 minutes into the third. 5:35, the Kangaroos, 8:57, the Dockers. And after 23 minutes of no goals, we've had two in the space of 2 minutes. Margin is 22 points. A Cash Spodadar is on the boundary.
Yeah, plenty of action down here. Looks like subs are being made. Robbie Hanson Jr. is in for North Melbourne. Cal Dawson, the tactical substitute. And Nat Fife has got his warm-up gear off and ready to come on the ground as well. Just trying to work out who Fremantle are taking off.
Just got lower there, Parker, and a little slip up from Brayshaw. Free kick any day of the week, unfortunately. He went back and slotted it for the Kangas.
Their first goal since the 6-minute mark of the second term. 22 points the margin. Dockers to work it through the middle. Jackson had his back turned to it, bounced into him. Davies Uniacke's able to collect it for North. Kicks inside forward 50. Larkey out and marking. That was better from North. Delivery and a big, strong lead by Nick Larkey. Already with one goal tonight. Can they kick back-to-back goals in a matter of about 60 seconds? Fremantle kicked 6 unanswered goals. Luke Parker ended that run just moments ago. Here comes Nick Larkey. That's a terribly disappointing kick from 45 out. In line with the right-hand goalpost, he's missed everything to the right. And the roar you hear is for a dual Brownlow medalist and their former captain of the Fremantle Dockers, Nat Fife, making his way out onto Perth Stadium.
He's around this pack. Switkowski to Bolton to Fife. Here they go. They roar again. Beautiful handball up the boundary line. Broadcast side to Tracy. Kicks up towards Amos. Punched away by Logue. Boss came through. He gathered, but he fell over. Lost possession. McDonald for the Roos. Gathered. Kicks inside the middle of the 50. Daniel received it from Powell. His handball sets McKercher a task. Frederick's there to try and worry him out of it. Doing well, though, is McKercher. Kept it alive for North Melbourne. Spills in the middle of the ground to Pink, who is tackled by Tracy. He might be a bit rusty still, Nat Fife. He ran on, forgot he hadn't put his mouth guard in. As the ball came, he was reaching for the sock. He just got it in time before the ball came to him. It's all right. He's allowed to be a little rusty. He's a 2-time Brownlow medalist as Davies Uniacke is tied up in the middle of the ground by Sarong, and a free kick is going to Sean Darcy against Sherry. I think it might have been just following the ruck knock. It's Darcy's free kick. He kicks inside the forward 50. Doesn't favour any of the Dockers forwards. Pink sliding in, dropped another chest mark. Jackson extracts it. Handball to Switkowski, to Sarong from 35. Straight through the middle. And Fremantle respond. Another error by North Melbourne leads to a goal. They'll make it 9-0 9.63 for the Dockers. North Melbourne a 5.35. Caleb Sarong has his first. 28.5 gone in the third term. Cara Antonio and Peter Bell, our experts on ABC Sport. Before we hear from them, Akash Vodadar is on the boundary.
It's Neil Erasmus who's been subbed out for Nat Fyfe, a tactical decision from Fremantle.
Not sure what the free kick was for, but it was a crucial one, wasn't it? And then Toby Pink spills an uncontested chest mark. Jackson swarms on the loose ball, and Sarong, he got that one pretty well. He hasn't kicked the ball well today, but he kicked that very important goal. And in the context of the game and a comeback, potential comeback for North Melbourne, that one is a pivotal one.
Sherry wins it down. Got it straight to Parker, kicked towards centre half forward. Marked there by Curtis. Wants the play quickly. Oh, he kicked into the back of Davies Uniacke. Didn't know about it, went to gather again, and then is run down by Brayshaw. That's holding the ball. Oh, one and then two moments of just pure frustration for the Kangaroos and their supporters. Belted into his back, and then from behind, Brayshaw got him. Davies Uniacke has been so terrific for most of this game as Brayshaw for the Dockers kicks towards the outer wing. Hardiman hands off the back of the pack, moved it forward to Fisher, bounced a hand pass along in the direction of Hanson Jr. Couldn't gather cleanly. Warner worked it out to Sharp. Now back to Brayshaw. Eventually gets a kick away, up into the air, sliding out. Oh, Logue just crashed into Daniel. Daniel's been able to take the mark. Logue gets up, holding his nose. Certainly couldn't question his attack on the football. Seems okay as he runs away. Daniel's kick is going to stay in, is it? Just the mark being taken by Hanson Jr. Hard up against the boundary, just shy of left half forward. Kicks the Kangaroos down the line. Here's Darling, stepped off his line after taking the mark. So from 51 out, he'll go long towards goal, and it's through for a major. Big Jack right on the siren of three-quarter time has put it through for what could be an oh-so-important goal for North Melbourne in this game. Jack Darling knows about kicking goals on this ground, the former Eagle, and he still loves kicking them against the Fremantle Dockers. And the Dockers lead at three-quarter time is cut back to 22 points. Fremantle a 9.63. North Melbourne 6.541. The goal kickers for you for the Dockers. Patrick Voss has got 3. And then singles to Switkowski, to Wagner, to Reid, to Bolton, to Jackson and to Sarong. While for North Melbourne, as we add Jack Darling's name to their list of goal kickers, all individuals, Darling, Parker, Larkey, Fisher, Davies Uniacke and Sheasel. Fremantle 9.63 to the Kangaroos, 6.541. That's at three-quarter time. Results earlier today, the Giants by 11 points over Brisbane and the Cats by 95 against the Bombers. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and of course streaming on the ABC Listen app. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Ben Cameron and Corbin Middlemash from ABC Sport here.
Alongside Paul Roos, Brett Delidio and Poppy Penny, we bring you all the latest AFL news from both on and off the field on the ABC AFL Daily podcast.
You can hear it all on the ABC Listen app.
Up to steady and pull the trigger!
Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast. It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
The Dockers bring it towards centre wing. Able to mark was Amos. Bolton does show class, working it on to Reid, who pauses. Bolton continues his run forward. Reid kicks inboard, diving backwards. Good mark, Switkowski. And that is it 50. It is against Sheasel. Switkowski was up, trying to get up to his feet. Sheasel tackled him. That'll bring Switkowski inside forward 50. And a chance for the first goal of this term. He'll put boot to ball from about 35 out. He'll start in line with the left-hand goalpost. Switkowski looking to make it 6 unanswered goals for the Dockers, and their first, and indeed the first of this quarter. Here he comes. Switkowski puts boot to ball. First goal of the term. 6 unanswered goals for the Fremantle Dockers.
Jackson and Sherry tackle, tie up again, tap down Parker. Once again, first hands on it, tackled high. as he went low, gathered at ground level. He'll have a set shot from outside 50, slight angle to the right. Luke Parker, booming kick from the paint of 50. That's a terrific finish from one of their leaders. North Melbourne are up and about. They finally find a goal, their first since the 6-minute mark of the second term. Darcy's free kick. He kicks inside the forward 50. Doesn't favour any of the Dockers forwards. Pink sliding in, dropped another chest mark. Jackson extracts it. Handball to Switkowski. To Sarong from 35. Straight through the middle. And Fremantle respond.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
At Lords in the World Test Championship, Aidan Markram has been dismissed for 136. Caught head from the bowling of Hazelwood. 136, 14 fours. You set up South Africa's victory. They need just 2 runs now at 5 for 280 to claim the mace and the World Test Championship. 2 games of NRL. The Roosters beat the Knights earlier tonight, 12-8. And the Dolphins belted North Queensland 58-4. Here at Perth Stadium, a quarter to play. It's the Dockers by 22 points over the Kangaroos. Our experts, Peter Bell and Cara Antonio on ABC Sport.
Well, the big question will be, can North Melbourne produce a last quarter like they did last week, where out of nowhere they produced energy, intensity, they went at goal really strongly, because while both teams were poor in that third quarter, Fremantle got their 2 goals from a free kick and a 50-metre penalty, and they haven't looked likely to score at all. And if anything, North Melbourne looked the better team, as reflected by winning the quarter in that third quarter. So the opportunity is there for them. It's looking unlikely, but we probably thought that last week, and they were able to do it.
Yeah, and off the back of that, as I mentioned, I think at half-time, it's the forward method and connection for North Melbourne. They have to get better at it. They're plus 3 inside forward 50s that quarter and a number for the game, but they're just not getting bang for buck. They're just, peppering the ball in, but again, the Fremantle defenders just rolling off and taking marks or spoiling and getting numbers to ground level and bouncing off halfbacks. So there's some positive signs for North Melbourne. Can they run this game out is the big question. We'll wait and see.
Some of the numbers team-wise, the clearance count 32-26 the way of North Melbourne. The tackles 55-48 the way of North Melbourne. The hit-outs of Fremantle's way 31-23. The inside 50 count the way of North Melbourne 47-35. They lead most of those key indicators. Also lead contested possession by 6 as well, and overall disposals by 21. So if you just looked at those numbers, you'd be a bit confused, and they find themselves 22 points down. Harry Sheasel has 24 disposals. Luke Davies-Uniacke 23. McKercher and Stevens 20 apiece for the Dockers. Clark and Sarong with 23. Brayshaw with 22. Shea Bolton with 19.
They kicked 4 goals to 1 in the last term. The Kangaroos last week in Bunbury to beat the Eagles. They'll need to go at least 1 goal better than that to roll in the Dockers. Final game of Saturday, round 14 here at Perth Stadium. What have North got in them? Can the Dockers hang on and go 4 straight in terms of wins? Let's find out. Darcy wins it down in the middle. Straight away, Noah Parker got wrapped up. Got a kick away, not quite. He's been pinked for holding the ball by Sarong. Had him by the right arm. Immediately Sarong kicked towards right half forward. Daniel couldn't claim it. Johnson could for the Dockers. Hand past the 5. Hand past to Switkowski. Clever. Didn't take possession. Tapped it down to Brayshaw. Hurried shot at goal. Misses left. Minor score to start proceedings in the final term. 9-10, 64-65, 41. Dockers over the Roos. 35 seconds played.
McKercher plays on by hand. Out of full back to McDonald. Kicking up the wing. No one able to take the mark. Hanson Jr. comes in and is tackled by both Luke Ryan and Brendan Cox. Will have a ball up. Broadcast side of Perth Stadium. North Melbourne kicking to the Graham Farmer Freeway end in this final quarter. Sherry trying to take it out of the ruck. He couldn't. It spills to Johnson, then to Brayshaw. Now Sarong for the Dockers. Kicks inside the forward 50. Over the head of Tracy. Stevens is back there for North Melbourne. Had a fumble, then was able to gather. And it's a pink. Now O'Sullivan through hands. Back to Stevens. backs himself to run out of defensive 50. Handballed it straight to Brayshaw. Puts the fend off on. Now handballs to 5. He's run down. Had a long time holding the ball. O'Sullivan got him. Maybe a nice moment for a young Kangaroo. Getting a 2-time Brownlow medalist. Holding the ball in what is just your 12th game of AFL football. He comes wide to his captain in Jai Simpkin, who's got plenty in his time.
Simpkins steps inside of Johnson and kicks towards left half forward. Larky out there, couldn't mark. Spoil came from Cox. Spilled down though to Parker. Kicks immediately inside forward 50. One-on-one battle. Front position was Zerha. Couldn't mark it. Ryan tried to get it away and he's been wrapped up. Great effort coming from the Kangaroos. Constanti got him and he'll get the free kick. 45-degree angle to the left. He'll put boot to ball from 40 out.
The 27th tackle inside forward 50, the Kangaroos. So outstanding forward half pressure. But again, as we've mentioned time and time again tonight, they need to make the most of their opportunities when they've had these.
8 goals, 5 for the season. The former Swan. Here comes the 20-year-old. What a start this would be for the Kangaroos. Kicks on its way. He likes it. He gestures to the crowd, and the North Melbourne fans are at the Farmer Freeway end of the stadium. They like what they see. So too do Constanti's Kangaroos teammates. He gives them the first goal of this final term. 7-5-47 North. Fremantle 9-10-64. Fremantle's lead cut to 17 points at the 3-minute mark of the last.
And I can only describe the effort of Luke Ryan as it was a little bit lacklustre. Had no awareness that there was a North Melbourne player in the vicinity, and because North Melbourne have been so good with their forward 50 tackling pressure, he should have had awareness. He was just very casual and he got nailed.
North Melbourne, can they do it again? 2 weeks in a row. Ball back in the middle. Sherry v. Darcy coming through. Fife takes it away. Handballs out in front of Brayshaw. Gathers on the bounce. Kicks deep inside the forward 50. Can he find a target? Yes! Amos somehow takes the chest mark in the pack in the right forward pocket, and it will suit him as a left footer. Tight angle, only about 20-odd metres out.
Excellent clearance from Nat Fife. One grabbed it and released Brayshaw. I thought originally Jackson was the more likely to take the mark, but Lowe took care of him, and Amos was third man in.
To take some sting back out of North Melbourne, Amos turns it around the body and doesn't bend it back enough. Kicked it pretty hard, did Jai Amos, and it's a minor score. 9-11-65 Fremantle, 7-5-47 North Melbourne. We'll get down to a cash photo shortly as the Roos bring it back into Sheasel.
And it's official. South Africa have won the World Test Championship by 5 wickets over the Australians. 5 for 282, their fourth innings score. Tremendous performance from South Africa. Their first ICC trophy. Kicks towards the southern wing from the Kangaroos. Banfield's back there for the Dockers. Got a hand pass away to Clark. Right up against the boundary. Kicks towards Tracy, who marks at left half forward. There's a mismatch. He was up against Daniel. Tracy turns around from 51 out from goal, sends it towards full forward. Flying Amos, couldn't mark. Sharp missed the footy. Bolton gathered off the deck and then had it knocked out of his hands. Taken by Hanson Jr. Moved it towards left half back to Simpkin, to Parker, to Hanson Jr. again. He's got space to work in, takes 2 bounces, draws a player in 5 to him. Hand passes to Wardlaw. Wardlaw for the Kangaroos. Kicks to a 3-on-3 inside forward 50. Larky got hands to it, couldn't mark. Heading straight to the boundary line was Cox. And the push has gone against them, against the Dockers, and it will be a free kick here to Darling.
They look gassed, the Fremantle players. Absolutely gassed.
Back to Larky, I beg your pardon.
Whether it's coming off the bye, but North Melbourne streaming goalwards. And the North Melbourne midfielders were floundering in their wake.
Get your thoughts on the replay in just a moment again. The free kick has gone to Larky. He has one. He steers it through for his second. And North Melbourne, they've got their 8th. And the Kangaroos, you bet they're right back in this at Perth Stadium. Fremantle's lead has been cut to 12 points, and the Kangaroos have owned the opening stages of the last quarter. Freo 9-11-65 to North 8-5-53. 6 and a bit gone in the final term.
It's a hard one because by the looks of it, Cox had eyes on the ball. Didn't make too much contact with Larky, I wouldn't have thought. So, again, a 50-50 there, but North Melbourne making the most of their opportunities, which they haven't all game. So, a very interesting start to this fourth quarter.
Billy, thoughts? I didn't think there was a lot in it.
No, well, Larky made the most of it, and because if there's any contact at all, it should be a free kick. Very difficult to tell if there was any, but he certainly made it look like there was, so well done. Smart play.
Out of the middle go North Melbourne again. Davies Uniacke to Stevens, looking for a target. It's Ryan who takes the mark. The Dockers breathe easy for just a moment. He goes out to left half back to Banfield. Just feeling the pinch a little bit here. Fremantle. Banfield plays on, kicks up the wing. Tracy presents strong. Good mark by the big bustling forward. He's a long way from the goal face. Not a single player inside attacking 50 for Fremantle. Tracy's just defensive side of the wing. Kicks up looking for a target. Beats everyone over the back. Hardiman was clean. Nice little handball to Davies Uniacke. Now to Stevens. Weaves back inside on the wing. Kicks up towards half forward. Strong mark taken by, I don't know, Cox, I think. I thought Ryan had that more than Cox, but either way, it's a mark to Fremantle. Umpire gave them benefit of the doubt. Back to Draper at centre half back, kicking in the middle to Fife.
Fife plays on by hand. Warner running by in the long sleeves. Kicks Fremantle to left half forward. Ball's on the bounce. Scooped up by Voss. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle. Ball jars free. Well done, McDonald. Umpire eventually holding the ball. Gee, that took a long time to pay that. McDonald plays on immediately to McKercher. On to Hanson Jr. From left half forward goes looking for Larky. Marks hard up against the boundary deep in the left forward pocket.
It was the uncontrolling umpire that called that. The one in control called play on, but it was holding the ball any day of the week. And you're right, Belly, they look out on their haunches, Fremantle. North Melbourne making the most of their opportunities.
Larky go himself, looking to snap around the body. He run back into the field of play. He's curling it back around. That is a top shelf goal. And doesn't he know it? And don't the North fans know it? We're back to within 6 points. Larky has got 3. North have owned this quarter so far. Fremantle are 9-11-65. The Kangas have bounced to be 9-5-59. 9 minutes gone in the final term at Perth Stadium. And what was just a dire third term has become a truly enthralling final quarter.
You got a sense of it, and they're storming home at the moment. What do Fremantle have in response? This time it was Pat Voss, no awareness, lacklustre approach to the ball. He had a teammate that he could have just handballed to, but chose to take on the tackler or was unaware of the tackler, and North Melbourne were out.
I was holding the ball every day of the week, but the lack of communication between the umpires tonight has been quite concerning at times. Ball back in the middle. North Melbourne, their tails are up. The Roos are bouncing. On this occasion, though, Jackson soccers it out of the middle for the Dockers to 5. Handball to Bolton. Scrubber kick towards the top of the goal square. Pink, the first one there for the Kangaroos. Gives it to Luke McDonald. Under pressure, he runs all the way back over the line, and that is the correct interpretation. He was under pressure. He rushes the behind. Experienced play by Luke McDonald. He gives the Dockers an extra point. 9-12-66 Fremantle. 9-5-59 North Melbourne. 10.5 gone in the final term.
So here come North. Short pass to Sheasel from McKercher. Works it on to McDonald. Kicks towards the commentary wing. Curtis. The spoil came from right at the back. Running by Warner. Couldn't take it. It ricochets away. Hanson Jr. clever. He spots Parker in space. 52 out from goal. He's got his second. It's a 1-point ball game. The Kangaroos, they're loving it in the West at the moment. And Fremantle, this truly is becoming the most Dockery of Dockery performances. Fremantle lead by 1 point. 9-12-66. North Melbourne at 10-5-65. 11 gone in the last. Before we hear from Peter Bell and Cara Antonio, a cash photo downstairs.
It's going to get even tougher for Fremantle. Sam Switkowski is done for the evening. He's got an ice pack on the outside of his left thigh. He came off, did some work with the physios and the doctor. As someone is yelling right over my shoulder.
Yeah, we'll just fade that down to Cash. Sorry, we just can't have that go to air. So you know that there's certainly a passionate Dockers supporter behind you, and the ball's going to be put back up in to the air to get us underway again.
It's a North Melbourne home game. The Dockers are pretty vocal, though. Out of the middle, Parker kicks inside forward 50. Good mark by Banfield.
Terrific mark. I haven't liked the body language from a few of the Fremantle players as well. There's a lot of gesticulating and arms up in the air and terse words to each other. Just get back on task and try and match North Melbourne's energy, because right now you're sadly lacking.
Cox has the ball just below our broadcast position. Broadcast wing. Kicks up through hands. Amos at the back allows Murphy Reid to come through and take it. He's gang tackled and immediately pinged holding the ball. North Melbourne free kick. Hardiman will be the recipient in front of his home crowd. Not just as North Melbourne the home team tonight, a West Australian. It's back inside 50 to McDonald. Comes wide to another West Aussie in the North colours. Griffin Logue, the former Docker, handballs further field to McDonald. He handballs up the boundary line looking for Hanson Jr. Brayshaw knocks him out of it. Parker gathers. He's taken in a tackle. The ball spills free. Umpire looked like he was about to ping Parker. It comes out the way of the Dockers. Tumbling kick by Ryan up towards half forward. Voss knocks it away from Logue. Bolton sees Hardiman, takes him on, takes one bounce, takes two from the boundary, centering kick across the face to Rivik Spoil. Last line of defence by the Roos. They win it back deep in defence. Stevens to Powell. Can he hit a target? No. It's chopped off by
Free
Warner.
kick, Curtis.
Going the way of Paul Curtis for something.
I'll tell you what, O'Sullivan might have had the fresh airy earlier. Put your teeth back in, Clint, but that was a great spoil, potentially a goal-saving one, as North head towards the outer wing and they put it out of bounds on the full. Clanger from Curtis. Fremantle will take the free kick. They move it from Sarong into Banfield. 1 point game. Fremantle still hanging on at the moment. Banfield goes on a trundle. Kicks towards left half forward. There's O'Sullivan again. Back defensively with a good mark. Must have just got a nosebleed earlier tonight going forward. Attempted soccer goal. Not something he'll want to see again. Kicks towards centre wing out of sight. Front position, Warner won it down to Sarong for the Dockers. His hand pass inboard, stolen by Parker, who then sold a dummy for Sarong. Parker for the Kangaroos, kick inside forward 50, big collision. Zerha stayed down up against Brendan Cox. The Dockers can rebound through Clark. He'll kick out towards right half back. Zerha is still down. Sliding out, Amos takes the mark at right half back.
He's holding his midsection. Cam Zerha. He's in a bit of discomfort. Two trainers with him now. The umpires have stopped play because this is the scene of the crime, if you like. This is where Lockie Schultz was knocked out here at Perth Stadium, and the umpires were criticised for not stopping the play. On this occasion, getting it right as they just check on Cam Zerha.
He's copped a couple of big hits tonight as well. I reckon that's got him right in the sweet spot. Winded again. Courageous. All eyes for the footy as well. All players in that contest.
A few Dockers happy to get the break as well out there at the moment.
Both runners leave Zerha alone, who looks incredibly proppy still on that ankle as well. He's going to be sore on the flight home. Kick up the wing from Amos in front. Jackson. Sherry almost stole it over the top. Voss tackled by Wardlaw. Taken the ground and will have a ball up. We are 15 gone. We'll get to a cash photo out shortly. 15 gone in the final term. Just 1 point in it. North Melbourne have kicked 5 in a row. Parker in the stoppage. Kick smothered by Fife. Ricochets to Sheasel. His kick straight to Johnson. The Dockers overran the ball. It's a rolling maul on the logo on the broadcast swing, and the umpire will come in to separate as the Freo chant goes up here at Perth Stadium for a North home game. It's a 1 point ball game.
Jackson palms it down, emerging with it. Wagner broke the Sherry tackle. kicks. Is it going to go out of bounds on the full? It is at right half forward for the Dockers, left half back for the Kangaroos. We'll head downstairs to Cash voted up.
Now that the fans behind me have calmed down, what I was trying to get the information to you, Sam Switkowski's out for the rest of the night. Fremantle was saying it's a tight hamstring, but he's got a pretty big ice pack on that left thigh.
Yeah, sorry, Cash. We just couldn't quite take the risk that there wasn't going to be a few magical words dropped on that occasion as the Dockers kick it towards centre wing. It's bundled over the boundary line, taking it, trying to emerge it. It was Johnson. No chance of breaking a Sherry tackle alongside Sheasel. Ball to be put back in. Northern wing. Dockers lead by a point. 16 gone in the last. Darcy got the tap down. Hacked up in the air by Wardlaw. Going back Banfield. Is it far enough to be a mark? No. Correct decision that time. And those in the lime green. He was tackled. Held to him. Ball up again. Sherry just punches it forward. It bounces down the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Actually tumbling across just in front of where the mats are for the Kangaroos. 31,408 the crowd, which would make, I reckon, everyone very pleased with that. Over 30,000, which is certainly what Fremantle were hoping for. Well done to their supporters who have shown up tonight. There's the ball from Darcy, punched forward by 5 for the Dockers. Simpkin goes back together, hand pass to Sheasel. Oh, met in a very solid tackle by Wagner. Got it on to Daniel, then to Simpkin as well. Just got the kick away towards left half forward. Big punch, Cox.
Maybe a free kick to Banfield, I reckon.
And it is going to be as well. I was watching Cox coming in from the side, Billy. What's the free kick for? Legal block. Push.
Push, yeah, sorry. I think Curtis thought that it was their free kick, actually.
He did, and didn't return it on the full, but the umpires were prepared to let that go as Banfield kicks towards a big pack. This comes off hands, going to ground with Sherry. It's over for a boundary throw-in right next to the North Interchange bench. The Dockers 9-12, the Kangas 10-5. The Dockers up by a point, 18 gone in the last.
This is a genuine grandstand finish coming up. Sarong through traffic on the kick, slips off the side of his boot into the middle of the ground. Fisher gathers for North Melbourne. Off to McKercher on his wrong side. The kick is perfect out to Zerha. Kick and a half from home. Curtis leads in the pocket. Can he mark? Yes! Paul Curtis is going to have a chance to put North Melbourne in front. He is tucked up on the boundary line out at right half forward. 45 metres out. Paul Curtis to put the Kangaroos back in front. He misses, but he levels the scores. 10-6-66 North Melbourne, 9-12-66 Fremantle. Tied ball game, 19 minutes into the final term. Who would have thought we'd be here at three-quarter time?
Last time these sides played here, the Kangaroos won by 1 point. Round 22. Back in round 2 rather, back in 2023. Darcy towards centre half forward, off the hands of Bolton. Here's Frederick. Hand pass out to Voss. 51 goal. Voss sends it long. The Kangaroos claim it was touched on the line. Voss is pretty determined that it hasn't been. That is some sort of a goal from the world's best celebrator. He was even contained by his standards on that occasion. 4 goals to Voss. And if it stands, the Dockers back out to a 6-point lead.
He timed that so sweetly. It was almost like a three-quarter kick, an easy swing on the golf course, but he got it perfectly.
Career high 4 goals. Desperate effort, last line of defence from Hardiman. They're having a look at this. The goal umpire was in exactly the right spot. Hardiman immediately got up saying he's touched it. He's got a fist to it. Has the ball crossed the line before he has?
Looks like it was touched to me.
Yep.
From what we're seeing now, I'm with you, Billy. That's been touched.
That's a great effort.
Hardiman has saved a goal here.
He's done the Superman in midair.
He has. The fist is to it before the ball has fully crossed the line. This will come back.
It's a big moment, isn't it? Because I reckon Jai Amos was in a position where he could have shepherded that through. It just wasn't physical enough. He allowed Hardiman the last play on the ball, and it's those fine margins that can be the difference.
So wipe a career-high 4 goals off Patrick Moss. That is a rush behind. It's a 1-point ball game again. 21 gone in the final term. The Dockers just in front, 67-66.
That was a terrific effort by Hardiman, and McDonald has played well tonight, the veteran. That's not his best moment. Handball inside was looking for Hardiman. It was chopped off by Frederick. Couldn't find a teammate. It's inside Fremantle's forward 50. Johnson spills it. Daniel spins, just got a handball away. McDonald again, the clearing kick out towards Sherry. The boundary line comes, and it's probably a win for North Melbourne in the end. They almost gave it straight back to the Dockers.
Yeah, shocking turnover from McDonald, but then Fremantle just not able to hit their targets either.
There's a nervous jitter around from both sides of supporters. You can feel it here at Perth Stadium. Just the 1 point in it. It's the Dockers in front. Fife's kick smothered by Sherry. Powell gets it to Hanson Jr. His kick up the wing is strongly marked by Carl Warner. Been good tonight, the young Docker. He goes wide up the wing to Sarong. Disposal 30 coming up for the two-time All-Australian. Gives himself some room off the mark. Kicks inside the forward 50. Dockers need a mark up forward. They can't get it. Tracy at ground level. Handballs it straight into the path of Davies Uniacke. He gets it to a teammate in Hardiman. They clear defensive 50. One-on-ones everywhere. Draper v. Darling. The young Docker v. the veteran Roo. Draper wins out. Handballs to Sarong. The turnover is on Costanti. Oh, going inside 50. Warner was brilliant. He came across. He smothered. He got it out of bounds. Tension rising. The Dockers by 1 point. 23 gone final term. Saturday night footy on ABC Sport. Don't go anywhere.
After what was just a ho-hum third term, this final quarter is producing an epic. North won by a point last time these sides played at this stadium in 2023. Can they win another thriller? At the moment, it's Fremantle in front by 1. As Brayshaw gets a clearing kick away from right half back for the Dockers. It comes to Tracy. He shrugs off the pink tackle. Kicks across half forward. Can't find anyone he needs. Simpkin couldn't pick it up. It's inside forward 50. Reid tries to knock it out. Jackson falling backward, trying to give it to Brayshaw as he held without the football. Umpire says play on. Murphy Reid looks to work his way through. He's run down by Logue. Holding the ball. Every second matters. Every disposal so important. 1 point ball game. Dockers still in front. 25 gone in the last.
North Melbourne stay in the fight. Sheasel goes backwards to McKercher. These young North rising stars trying to lead them to victory. Kick goes to the right back pocket to Lowe. Back to McKercher. Out to the wing. Fife got in front. Couldn't take the mark. Fisher could. Davies Uniacke tucks it under the arm. He sees Fife. He likes his chances. He lost the bounce. Just put it on the deck. Umpire said play on as Fife got to him. The Dockers have it back. Chapman up towards half forward. Murphy Reid spills the mark. Has time to settle. Goes inside 50. Umpire says not play on. Not 15. Brayshaw dispossessed. In the pocket sharp. Handballs back to Murphy Reid. They're 30 out on the boundary. Inside to Bolton. Taps it back to Murphy Reid. He can't gather under pressure. Sheasel's there. Breaks the Murphy Reid tackle. Deep in defence. He'll kick it out beyond half back. Fife runs under the ball. Chapman takes possession, rides the bump, gives it to Sarong, to Luke Ryan. Doesn't kick a lot of goals, and he won't change that. He misses everything. It bounces out of bounds. Deep inside, Fremantle's attacking 50, 25 and a half gone, 1 point lead to Fremantle.
What was wrong? Was that not long enough to be a mark to Brayshaw?
Or was it touch, did he call?
No, he said not 15.
Not 15.
Oh, wow.
And that Fife, can't believe I'm saying this, you play to the whistle.
Yep.
Just stopped.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Goodness gracious. Throwing in again. Inside the Dockers forward 50. Jackson won it down. Davies Uniacke gathers. Hand pass under pressure. Tap by McKercher towards the boundary line. McDonald happy to see it over. 40 out from Freo's attacking goal. Heading to the city end of Perth Stadium. The right of our broadcast position on the northern wing Fremantle still by a point. 9-13 to the Kangaroos, 10-6, 26 gone in the last. Jackson down, Sarong, hand pass, 5. Now to Wagner, snaps around the body, punch through for a rush behind.
Well, it hit the post, I think, Clint.
You're right, it has. Cannon into the right-hand goalpost, which is probably the better result.
For sure for Fremantle.
They'll be able to get a neutral ball. Right full forward, the ball to be spun back into play. The Dockers remain inside their forward 50. Jackson again won it down against Sherry. Brayshaw got it on to Voss, hard up against the boundary. He'll centre the kick. Tracy couldn't mark, comes down to Amos, got a hand pass out. Jackson threw it on the boots. It was the ugliest kick, but it won't matter. It's gone through for a major. It just wibbly wobbled its way through. And the Dockers stretched their lead. 10-13, 73 to 10-6, 66. He's got his second there, Jackson. He'll kick much, much better goals than that, but few could be more important. Freo, goodness me. They're up by 7.
Really,
7 gone in the last.
Sorry, Clint. Really disciplined kick from Pat Voss from the boundary. Got it to a dangerous position, and Josh Tracy provided the contest opposed to Griffin Logue. Amos showed some intensity, fired the ball out. And what a crucial goal with Jackson.
And the difference there was North Melbourne committed 3 to the ball carrier all night. They've crunched that tackle and stuck it. And just in that split moment, broke through Amos and was able to get the handball out to Jackson and finish with a nice goal.
Plenty of time left in this one.
North Melbourne fans, Fremantle fans, this is not over. This is still game on. It's the Dockers by 7. Late stages, fourth term in the middle. Sherry and Jackson go at it. Powell comes through, dispossessed, then sockers it off the deck. Curtis out to beat it. 55 out. Handball to Sheasel. Tacking to ground. Stevens received the handball though. Tackled by Warner. Now Johnson's taken to ground. They just kept managing to get the handball out, North Melbourne. They keep the ball moving. Now we'll have a ball up. Right on the 50. Jackson v. Sherry. Sherry taps it towards Curtis. Taps it deeper inside the forward 50. Comes down to 5. Little handball to Ryan. Now to Brayshaw. To Sarong. Off of right half back. Up towards Voss. McDonald brilliant for the Roos. Knocks it away. Knocks it out of bounds. He's been terrific tonight, the former skipper. He's had 26 touches. A number of key defensive efforts on that occasion. He knocks it away from Voss. Boundary throwing right in front of the interchange gates. The Dockers still lead by 7. 29 into the last.
Still time for the Kangaroos. Throwing in again. Sherry. More tilling tap down to Daniel to Parker. Hand pass bounced off Brayshaw. He got it again. Kick towards left half forward. Zerha came off his hands. Hanson Jr. moved it forward, got tackled, got it on to Curtis, comes down to Stevens, who snaps left forward pocket and misses. Misses to the left-hand side. Some criticism from the locals about whether or not that tackle should have seen a holding the ball call. Freo's lead is cut to 1 goal again. 10-13 plays 10-7. Dockers over the Roos. 29 and a bit gone in the last.
They're trying to play a very skinny game here. Fremantle, lots of density behind their ball movement, behind that kick in.
Looking for Jackson, but wherever he is, so is Sherry. It's punched away by the North Ruckman. Sarong now taken to ground by Curtis. 49 metres out. Left half forward for North Melbourne. They trail by a straight kick. Ball tossed in the air. Jackson taps it down. Davies Uniac couldn't take possession. Fife is burrowing his way through. Got a handball to Sarong. Around the corner, the kick to Voss. Holds off McDonald with one arm. Takes it in the other. It's a massive one-on-one contested grab.
And an excellent clearance from Nat Fife. Quick as a flash.
Plenty of time. 30 and a bit minutes gone. Voss short to Johnson.
So they'll play this side of the ground. Don't like that at all. You're just giving up 20 metres for nothing. I know there's a little bit of time, but...
So Johnson backwards to Frederick, just beyond right half back. 31 minutes gone, 31,000 in the house. Frederick up the wing for Fremantle. Who can take a mark? Both sides desperately need one. Sherry, was he taken high as Johnson crashed in? Umpire said play on, players crash in. And we'll have a ball up.
Should have been, but the umpire was on the wrong side there to call that one.
Thrown up into the air. Jackson pumped it down, but straight to Parker for the Kangaroos. Kicked around the body, bounces towards left half forward, trying to tap it to his own advantage. Gathering it, Larky ran into a really strong tackle. Ryan got him. Emerges with the football for the Dockers. Gave it out to Sarong. He'll bounce it down the wing and sliding out. Amos is happy to see it over the boundary line. It's going to be a throw-in just forward of the wing for the Fremantle Dockers. 33 and a half minutes gone in the final term. Freo lead by a goal. 10-13 to 10-7. A win will put Fremantle back into the top 8. Sherry won it down. Got it straight away. Kick came from Powell towards left half forward. Trying to work it out. Simpkin got it onto Sheasel for the Roos. Kick towards full forward. That's a huge grab. Tracy back in defence. A goal-saving sort of mark. And he takes the football for Freo. Gets told to play on. Kicks it beyond defensive 50. Out of bounds on the full. North will have it. The free kick at left half forward. Still Freo lead by 6.
Last roll of the dice. McDonald kicks it inside the forward 50. No mark taken. Larky at ground level. Handballs to McKercher. Snap around the body is high. North Melbourne need a mark. Comes down. No one can take it. Stevens handball. Daniels taking the ground. Tackled. Umpire says it'll be a ball up. 33 minutes gone. Deep inside North Melbourne's forward 50. Tossed in the air. They need a quick kick. Brayshaw. Siren sounds. It was a thriller after all. And whether home, away, or a little bit of both, a win always feels good. 4 in a row for Freo. They're back inside the 8. And North Melbourne will lead the West. 1 win, 1 loss. The Dockers by 6 points.
Freo, way to go. In the real hearts and the down below. Oh, Freo, give us the only home. We are the Freo Dockers. We're the rollers, we're the rockers. We're the mighty Freo Dockers. We're gonna roll them and we'll rock them. We're gonna send them to the bottom. And if they get up, we'll do it again. The Dockers stop at nothing, nothing. Freo, way to go. In the real hearts and the down below. Oh, Freo, give us the O-E-O. We are the Freo Dockers. Freo, way to go. In the real hearts and the down below. Oh, Freo, give us the O-E-O. We are the Freo Dockers.
Freo say bye-bye to their post-bye hoodoo. And they win a 4th straight game. But once again, the Kangaroos stormed home in a final term, just like last week, kicking 4 goals to 1. It wasn't quite enough this time, as they fall 6 points short. The Dockers 10-13-73 to the Kangaroos 10-7-67 in front of 31,408 fans. Deep sigh of relief for Fremantle. This was one they simply had to win. For the Dockers, 3 goals to Patrick Voss, 2 to Jackson, singles to Sarong, Bolton, Reid, Wagner and Switkowski. While for North, Larky with 3, Sheasel with 1, Davies Uniacke with 1, so too Fisher, Darling and Constanti, and Luke Parker finished with 2 goals as well. So the multiple goal kickers for North, Larky with 3 and Parker with a couple. It was North by 2 points at quarter time. The Dockers by 21 at the half, by 22 at 3/4 time. Fremantle winning by 6 points in the end. But they were made to work for it, Peter Bell and Cara Antonio. And after what was truly a lacklustre third term, what a way to wrap things up here at Perth Stadium. North Melbourne, as Mitch said, 1-1 with their sojourn to the West.
And it so easily could have been 2-0, because when you reflect on the game, Fremantle blasted them out of the game in probably a 7-minute passage of play in the second quarter. That's where they did their heavy scoring. That's where they put the gap in the match. I think North Melbourne could legitimately say for the rest of the game, other than that period, they had the upper hand with their pressure. Fremantle were forced into uncharacteristic errors. and North came really hard at them late and had their opportunities. In the end, it was the Luke Jackson goal, the settler, to give them a bit of a margin. And I guess that last little bit of play summed up the night for Fremantle. Josh Tracy goes back into defence, takes a really good contested mark, and I thought he was excellent tonight, bar his missed shots at goal, and then proceeds to play on and kick it out of bounds on the full and give North Melbourne a chance to draw the match. I thought that summed it up from a Fremantle perspective, but they got the win, which is important. They just didn't seem to have the same run and energy that they had before going into the bye, so a lot will be spoken about. But I thought North Melbourne were spirited. I thought they brought a really good game style, really good pressure, and barring that second quarter, 6 or 7 minutes, they could have easily pocketed the money and the 2 wins, Cara.
Yeah, 4 goals, 2 to North Melbourne in that last quarter, and all goals came from turnover, and it just sums up their night. Their pressure was outstanding from the get-go. We mentioned the entire game throughout the breaks as well. Tackle pressure was outstanding. 29 tackles inside forward 50. I mean, they're only averaging the 9. So clear message that they wanted to play in the forward half of their ground. And just thought in that last quarter, just so many unforced errors from Fremantle. They had so many opportunities to kick away, and just uncharacteristic like traits, as you mentioned, Belly. Sarong was massive in the last quarter. He had 13 disposals, but again, just gave up the ball far too much.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at the game as a whole, I think Fremantle are very lucky to get away with that one. I thought North Melbourne were definitely the better team for the majority of the game.
Yeah, it felt like Fremantle escaped with a win there. And again, just set up with a one dominant phase of play in that second quarter. The other player who was pivotal, I thought Matt Fyfe actually came in and gave them some starch around contest, and just with his ability to buffer pressure and get out a clean handball. Yes, he was exposed on a couple of occasions in open play. He was very fortunate. I can't remember the North player that had it, but he ended up bouncing the ball. It didn't come back to him, and then Fyfe got to him, put the pressure on.
Davies.
Yeah, that's right.
Saw Fyfe
that's right.
And knew he had him.
And then Fyfe just stopped, and the umpire was saying, play on, play on. When Fremantle review this game, there'll be some really frustrating moments, but they were able to get the win, which is, of course, the most important thing. And Alistair Clarkson and his Roos will be ruining that one as one that definitely got away.
They'll be ruining it, but the signs for North, you must be pretty pleased with, Belly, because it hasn't always gone their way, the result. 6 of their past 7 matches have been decided by 10 points or less. They've either won them. They had the draw to Brisbane. They beat Richmond by 5. They beat West Coast by 10. They lost to Essendon and Port Adelaide by 3 and 9. They've lost to the Dockers by 6. They have been in almost every... And the Collingwood one that was 45, let's be honest, they were right in it till three-quarter time. So they've been in every contest since round 7. That is a massive step for them.
It is. And so the next piece is, I know this will be frustrating for North Melbourne supporters, is learning how to get the habit of winning and knowing what to do at the right time. And that's why last week was so significant, but the ability to do that consistently. I'm not talking about I'm not comparing these two teams, but Collingwood are a team that have learned how to win close ones. That's partly structure, a lot about experience, but they just know what to do at the right time to get the all-important win, and that will come with North. But I really liked the game style that they brought tonight. We talked about Fremantle uncharacteristic errors and pressure, and well, that was because of North Melbourne and the mindset that North Melbourne forced Fremantle into because of that onslaught, particularly in the first quarter.
77 tackles for North Melbourne, which is a solid number for them. They'd be pretty happy with that. 65 for Fremantle. Contested possessions as well. Ended up going North Melbourne's way, 149 to 147. They won the inside 50 count by 12. They won the clearance count by 4. They won a lot of almost every key indicator you look for. North Melbourne won it. They won a lot of them last week as well, outside of inside 50s against the Dockers. So they're not far away.
Yeah, I like the ballistic nature of their play, and they got tired through phases of the second and third quarter. The third quarter for both sides was poor. But again, like last week, they had the energy in the last quarter, Cara, and they were coming really hard at Fremantle. And from a Fremantle perspective, Luke Jackson with a very ugly-looking kick at goal, but Fremantle faithful, it's a beautiful thing.
Doesn't matter what they look like. Goals are like jewels. You get them however you can. And that wasn't a particularly pretty one, but a very, very important one potentially for Fremantle's season. They're making their way down into the rooms. The Dockers victorious by 6 points. And that's where we find a Cash Fodadara. Cash.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, they're just making their way into the rooms now, all circling up, ready for the song. There's a few big names down here. The guys from Tame Impala I've seen, AFL CEO Andrew Dillon, Richard Goyder as well. And they're all about to hear Fremantle belt out the song.
In the real house and down below, Freo, no leave hope, we are the Freo Dockers, woo, Freo, way to go. In the real house and down below, Freo, no leave hope, we are the Freo Dockers, woo.
Sense of relief down here in the Fremantle rooms, Clint. We should hopefully have a player join us very shortly.
Oh, Cash, do you mean Andrew Dillon's here and he didn't come in and have a chat to us on Sports Talk? He still owes us one, Andrew.
I'm shocked.
After deciding to go out on the boat with Channel 7 last time he was here when he was booked in to have a chat with us. I don't understand. I go out on the boat with Channel 7 as well. Nonetheless, come on, Andrew.
It's been there a few times this year.
Yeah, definitely owes us
Derby
one here
week.
in the West. Yeah, 100%.
All-Stars week, you might have been.
We're going to go
well.
back to annoying Jay Allen every time, every single week now. That's going to be our mission until he comes on. Maybe a Cash can just nudge him on the way out the door.
Just say hello. He's a nice guy, Andrew Dillon.
He is.
So is Jay Allen.
He is.
Just have to say hello. Last time I saw Jay, he was wearing linen pants and was very happy with himself up in Darwin. I thought...
Wouldn't be wearing linen pants out here today.
No, not at all. I don't think he had the trench coat on. They're from Melbourne. They're fine.
So these are the results. Round 14 of Saturday. GWS by 11 points over the Lions. Geelong absolutely belted the Bombers by 95 points. And Freo just did enough, and I mean that quite sincerely. They just did enough to get home against North Melbourne. The Kangaroos, we know that improvement isn't linear, certainly in terms of win-loss, but they do appear that they are on the right track. They've been super competitive, as Mitch said, in pretty much every game since they got belted, as it was, by Carlton by 82 points. There was that one against Collingwood where they were right in it until late, losing by 45 points, but North were very good for 3/4 of that match, and they were very, very good again tonight. Interesting that the Fremantle Dockers have photographs of the umpires.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Just
And their
up
names.
on the...
With names?
With names, just up on the side of where they go in. Belly, is that something that's been going on for a while?
Yeah, it has been, just to make sure that the players know the umpires' names. Can't hurt, can it? If
No,
you're
not at
actually
all.
having a dialogue and you know who the person is that you're talking to. It's interesting.
I actually think that's really smart. I hadn't noticed that before.
Oh, that's good, because it was my idea.
Was it really?
It was your idea, was it, Peter?
A lot of clubs do
I
it.
want to go
but,
back and
yeah.
check your Brownlow votes. You must have had a few. It would have been harder to get the photos back.
I had to slip that in. It actually genuinely was.
Is it common practice? Not just Freo, but anywhere else?
I assume it would be. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it makes sense if you can actually talk to the umpires by name.
Yeah, the problem is I don't think any of the players go up and have a look at them.
I know we've had
It's just up there for ceremonial purposes only to make me feel good.
Raise the raise on extra time with yourself and Clint every Monday here in the Western Sport Digital. But and you speak about your relationship with the umpires out there. Were you both very kind to them? Like, do you butter them up? I used to love going past playing junior footy and saying, "I reckon you got that one right," when they pinned one of my teammates, just to get a bit of support.
No, I was the complete opposite. I wasn't.
Same.
That's why I
You're
never
asking
got votes.
the wrong two special comments, people. I've been on the public record about that. It was something I should have been better at.
The Fremantle AFLW side, you weren't alone in that.
No, I know.
A very fiery group.
Yeah, I think in the back end of my career I was a little bit nicer, but in the earlier days, went pretty hard.
Dear, oh dear. You'd like to get Belly's famous for giving the umpire all sorts of advice, as Ray Chamberlain told us again. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to send us a message about anything you thought of tonight, what you think of North Melbourne and how they've been able to travel, coming across and getting the win over West Coast last week down in Bunbury, and now they will head back, not having to travel again. Sorry, I'll put my teeth back in. Not having to travel again to the West in 2025. So that is a good result. We might actually, while we're waiting to hear from the Dockers, they've gone down into a meeting, hear from Luke Jackson, who was spoken to by Fox Footy about that winning goal. Let's have a listen to that.
You kicked 2 goals on the night, but you kicked the last one of the day. Talk us through it and tell us about the celebration.
Yeah, I reckon when I dropped it on my boot, it did a double torque and then just managed to get through the big one. So, no, we're taking it and the crowd got around it, so it was good.
Isn't that how Ruckman usually kick them, though?
Yeah, they are. So I planned that the whole time. But, no, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Well, the result was good. The kick was not good.
The old double torp. I haven't heard that one before, but I think I've probably kicked a few double torps.
Nah, it was good is I reckon Luke's favourite line. Loves that one.
I was trying desperately when I saw it to think of a way to describe it, and wibbly wobbly was the best I could come up with. I couldn't think of anything better than that.
If you look in the dictionary under double torp definition, wibbly wobbly comes up already.
Genuinely, that sounds like saying the way the goodies would describe it back in the day, or someone of that era.
I was a big fan of the goodies.
I've got a question for Belly, actually. Tonight, I noticed it last week in the second half as well. For North Melbourne, Luke Parker's showing the value of bringing an experienced player into a club that is trying to build. Like the way they get around him and they follow him and they hang on every word, and he puts them on his shoulders. It just seems like it is such an invaluable thing for that football team.
Well, there's that. It's just having the leadership and the capacity to address the players out there on the field, and then they go in and get the messaging from their coaches and everything else. And then the second part of it is, nailing that goal from 50 metres. It's so important to give his team a sniff, and from that, they nearly stole the game.
A couple of texts rolling through. Get your thoughts on all of this before we look to continue to wrap things up here, team. Fran from Melbourne, great call. Felt like I was there with you. Kangaroos now have a bit of a feel for WA like they belong. And we're giving it to the Eagles and Freo. Dons fans might not be feeling so anxious next week. We speak of next week, of course. Fremantle have got Essendon on
Thursday night.
Yeah, the 5-day turnaround.
And so that's really interesting because North were definitely covering the ground better than Fremantle. And I can only put it down to, again, the bye and what that does physiologically, maybe, or mentally, whatever the case may be. So a quick turnaround, but you never know. Maybe it's a good thing as well. Maybe Fremantle will bounce out of that sort of softer running performance second up.
Danae, this is good. I like this from Danae. Such a relaxing hobby to watch the Dockers at Perth Stadium.
Character building.
And heaven ho, not heave ho, but heaven ho, which I think she's meant deliberately. Francis from Watsonia, how do you think Finn O'Sullivan's travelling, guys? He had the absolute fresh airy, and then he had one of the spoils of the game, and then he also had another outstanding spoil late on as well.
And he got 5 holding the ball.
Yep.
And half back for the Kangaroos, which is a big moment.
Yeah, he's had some excellent moments in his debut season, and two-way player, good in the air. He's clever, composed, so which is what you're going to expect with a pick 2. But there's a lot to like, and he certainly was superb in aspects of the game this evening.
Rick from Margaret River, who sent us a nice message, by the way. It's on your desk. Sent us a letter. I only picked it up because I don't check the mail room as often as I should.
Don't need my mail.
No,
I'm joking.
No, it's said for the ABC Sports team. So
I didn't actually go past the office today, so that's why I would have missed it.
You also haven't gone into the mail room for a week because neither have I. And there it was, just tucked away. We're all guilty of that.
No, I went in there about a week ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And I looked through the other ones just to make sure they don't put it in the wrong file, which I had to find. I've bought my Freeze beanie and all the...
That's right.
My Freeze hat, my Tasmania Devils scarf, which might become a relic.
Anyway, my point to Rick was that the only reason we got it today is because we hadn't checked the mail room. Great call, team. We don't need any more Freo grandstand finishes. One can only do so much gardening to calm down. Goodness us. Very appreciative, Rick. Thanks for sending that letter through, by the way. I'll let the other lads read it when they get back into the office. Marcus from South Melbourne, Freo would not deserve to play in finals if they lost to North on their home ground, and it's the players, not the coach, who are to blame. We'll take that as a comment. Marcus from South Melbourne, 0437 774 774. Robin Maidstone, This is a long one. Hi, guys. Umpiring is lost. We need a drastic change to the way the game is umpired, in my opinion. Do you think there is merit in having certain umpires responsible for certain decisions? For example, one umpire is solely responsible for monitoring the man on the mark and everything around that. You could also give insufficient intent responsibilities to them. 2, the other 3 umpires focus on the rest of the game. What are your thoughts on this idea? I love the coverage. Tonight, again, was another one where I thought the umpiring was inconsistent. I thought, look, this is the key moment because the game's been decided by a goal, but Larky's tackle on Banfield, I reckon Banfield should have probably been pinged for holding the ball, but he got away with it. That was an interesting one. Cash is in my can. So, Cash, are you ready to go downstairs?
Fremantle's, well, one of their 50 gamers from tonight, Corey Wagner with me. Corey, bit tight in the end, but I guess a relief to get the win.
Yeah, it was scary in the end there, but no, the last 10 minutes I think we held up really well, and as I said, probably in the past we might have lost those ones, so it was actually probably a really nice win to get. Yeah.
You got a great bit of momentum there in the second quarter with the run on when the rain came down, and they sort of flipped that script a bit on you early in the last. What was going, I guess, through the minds of the players, and what do you as a group start to do and talk to each other about when a team is coming hard at you like that?
Yeah, there's definitely momentum swings in games, of course. We got a run on in the second and the third, but then they got a real good one in the fourth, and we were speaking there, we probably did well to bring it just back to a scrap, and messy football, and it sort of worked in our favour because it got pretty scary there in the end, and that's just what we needed to do, just bring it back to a scrap, play ugly footy at times, and then lucky to hold off.
You've developed really nicely into a tagging role in the midfield. You went up against Davies Uniac tonight. How did you find that battle?
Yeah, that was nice. I think it was having heaps of it early there, and someone had to go to him. So got that role, and I got that off my sleeve and had done a few roles like that. So he's a big boy. He can run. He's powerful. So there's just another string to my bow, learning new things, and just if I don't touch it, as long as he doesn't touch it, we're happy, and that's what the team needs in that moment. And hopefully I did that.
Let's head upstairs to our team. We've got Clint Wilden, Mitch Turner, and our experts Peter Bell and Cara Antonio.
G'day, Wags. Well done on the win, first of all. It did seem like North were putting you under enormous pressure late in the game, but also in that first quarter. Did you feel it out there?
Definitely late there, yeah. I went on the wing when I think they got within a goal, and Jai Simpkin, old teammate, gave me a wink, and I was like, don't you do that. But like I said, Belly, it's... Like in the past, we probably would have lost those ones, so it was really good to just scrap it out, fight to the end, and just need to get those wins in seasons, and just keep the ladder ticking over nicely.
And Josh Tracy, I thought he was really strong. It would have been great for him to nail his shots at goal, but notwithstanding those misses, to have someone who's, on a night like this was able to take, I think, 7 contested marks and bail the club out at particular times when you needed it, just so important.
Yeah, he's developed in such a one of the best key forwards in the comp now, and the fact that he can come down and save our asses sometimes, it's a credit to him. He does so much stuff off field, and he's a big professional in our team. So I think he's going to cost the kitty a bit of money out in the full, but lucky he took that grab.
I was going to mention that. Besides, you'll have to get stuck into him about that. The big contested game-saving mark, and then the out of bounds on the full to keep it alive. Probably not his best work.
Yeah, definitely.
Corey, Cara Antonio here. Congratulations on the win. We've kind of touched on it briefly, but I thought your role in the second quarter, and particularly on LDU, was fantastic. But again, you've had those roles in the past, but I think your ability to be able to win your own ball and then hit the scoreboard is your biggest strength this year. How are you enjoying your new role?
Yeah, loving it. Just doing what the team needs me, to be honest. I just want to play games and be part of the team, and if it's that sacrificial roles, that's what I'll do. But playing on these blokes that always just get near the ball, you're around it. So if you get in the right positions and they get out of the wrong position, you're in the position to receive the ball. So if I can get them done and hit the scoreboard here and there the last couple of weeks, it's nice. It's been a bit of a shock, to be honest, but it's nice.
Do you have the role, I suppose, coming into the game, and do you do your homework leading in, or is that something that the coach pulls, at quarter time or just before the bounce?
Yeah, some are during the week, and then some like today when LDU was getting off the leash. It's something that's pull a string and then just got to get it done. You can see, just learn on the go with blokes like him. But it was another challenge, and it went well.
No, you did extremely well. And just another one, just Fife, obviously, as the sub coming on in that last quarter. We spoke it throughout the call, how instrumental we thought he was inside the contest. Like, I think he had only 8 handballs, but all hit a target, and he just set you guys up for those forward handball chains.
Yeah, it's not bad having a 2-timer come on at the fourth. So, no, he's done that both weeks now. I think he came on the Gold Coast and had 8 or 9 posies too, and just changed the game for us. It's a nice look when he comes in there. He can just plunk himself there, and then you can get off him. So he's working hard off the field again too. He's looking as fit as he ever has. So very proud, and I'm so honoured just to play by his side.
Speaking to Fremantle defender, midfielder, bit of a utility these days, Corey Wagner here on ABC Sport. Corey, Mitch Cerner here. Congratulations on 50 games. You're at Melbourne and North Melbourne. You're at North Melbourne first. They didn't want you in the end. They delisted you. You're at Melbourne. You spent a little bit of time there. They flicked you as well. You only played between the two clubs 19 games. You come to Fremantle. What does this club mean to you? Because it looks like you're playing the best footy of your career. You look like you're happy. What does the Fremantle Football Club mean to you?
A lot. Everything. Yeah, a lot. They were the only club to look at me in my, at Port Melbourne, and yeah, I owe a lot. I don't want to let them down, and I feel like that's how I play. They've given me a life opportunity. It's probably changed my life. They've given me the opportunity to start a family and move over here. So I owe everything to this football club. But I feel like that's how I play, and I get emotional sort of thinking about it, because they've done a lot for me, and then hopefully I'm returning the favour to them.
I guess that extends to Justin Longmuir, the senior coach, and the faith he's put in you, and certainly this season, given the roles he's given you. Yeah, definitely. I think just trying to build each game, and hopefully he's giving me more trust to just put me everywhere I need, and just keep getting a game. And I feel like I got a really good relationship with JL. I know where I'm at, where I stand with him, and then he tells me what I need to do, he tells me what I need to work on, and I'll go ahead and do it for him. So really loving playing under him. Just one more from me, Corey. You spoke about him a bit, but Josh Tracy, you spoke about him as a footballer and how important he was tonight and this season, but as a person, it seems like you two have a really, really close relationship. He almost looks like he's part of your family over here in the West. What's your relationship like with Josh? Yeah, very, very tight. He's over a lot. He looks after me, son. I wouldn't trust anyone else more than him. So he's, like I said, me and Michaela and Remy, we don't have much over here, so the footy club's our family too, and the boys are unreal, big swaggies, always good, and I had to teach him how to hold the baby first, but all the boys are awesome. JT's he's going to be a good dad.
It was the question I was going to ask. Last time we spoke to you on Extra Time, Remy hadn't arrived. What's it like your first season as a dad? How you dealing with it all?
I'm really loving it. It's taught me a bit of life balance and life perspective. Footy's not the main priority and the love of my life. It's Remy and Michaela, and then when I go to the club, it's fun, happy times. So I do my job there, and then I go home, and that's my priority. So it's just taught a lot of perspective of life, and Michaela's been actually unbelievable. She's helping with sleep, so I don't get up too much, which is I'll return the favour when footy's done.
As a Queenslander, I'm curious, will you roll along on Wednesday night for State of Origin?
Chance. Yeah, if we get a car pass, we'll be there.
Very good. Last one for you. I'm pretty certain that you actually made your Freo debut in the stealth jumper. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that day.
But, got a result, but nonetheless, like, how do you find it out there? Because I reckon it's a tremendous look for the footy club.
Yeah, I love the stealth kit. It's cool to have it. It's nice to have those 3 jerseys you can flick through, and it's such a unique game like this. You need something different. So it was good.
And a last one. What does it mean for this club after a difficult start to the season? You've now won 4 straight, either side of the bye, and an opportunity you don't have to get on a plane for the next couple of weeks. Where do you feel this sets your season up?
Yeah, it's really nice. I think since that St Kilda game, we lined in the sand moment, we're really starting to build some momentum, and probably with that, it's some belief that belief the way they're playing is getting the job done. So the fact that we're not travelling for a bit, we can be professionals and rock up every day and not have to travel and get the bodies right and fresh. Use this game to keep the ladder ticking over, and then also keep the bodies feeling fresh for the end of the year for a nice finish.
Congratulations on the 50 games. Thanks for having a chat to us.
Thanks very much, Phil.
Corey Wagner downstairs. It is a great story coming across. He was Queensland football royalty. And then, as Mitch said, opportunities at two clubs just didn't quite go his way, and Fremantle were able to see something in him to give him a third opportunity, and he's delivered in spades for them.
Yep, David Walls spent a lot of time watching Corey playing at Port Melbourne during that year, and identified him more as that sort of running halfback, which was a list need for Fremantle at the time, but it's been really nice to see him develop his game in other ways, become either a mid who can go and win the ball, or a mid who can sit on someone who's getting hot, like Luke Davies-Uniacke was tonight, and he's played on Nick Dacos and others as well and done a good job. And you can just tell there from talking to him, he'll do whatever is required from the coach and the club. He's just happy to be given an opportunity. He's setting his life up over here with his partner Michaela and son Remy. So he's just making every post a winner, as the cliche is, but a good team person.
Might have a look at some of the numbers. Mitch Turner's got them in front of him. The one that matters most, the Dockers getting home by 6 points, 10-13-73 to 10-7-67. We'll bring you some of the North Melbourne press conference with Alistair Clarkson if we can, and we'll get the votes for you in just a moment as well. But what are the other numbers? Tell us, Mitch.
Well, another one that is important as well, 31,408 is the crowd attendance. If you are just joining us, a good result for North Melbourne on the road, but home here in Perth. Individually, I'll go through a couple of the stats. Harry Sheasel had 32 for North Melbourne. He had 7 inside 50s, 3 clearances, 6 tackles and a goal. Luke McDonald finished with 27 touches in the end. So too Dylan Stevens and Luke Davies-Uniacke, who also had 6 clearances, 5 tackles and a goal. Colby McKercher had another good week, a couple of good weeks here in the West, having a good 6 weeks or so of football. He had 27 disposals as well. For the Dockers individually, Caleb Sarong got himself up to 36 touches, 16 of those contested, 8 clearances, 10 tackles, 6 inside 50s and a goal. Brayshaw, 31 touches, 9 clearances. Jordan Clark, 26 touches, 713 metres gained. Shea Bolton, 21 touches in the end and a goal for him. And Matthew Johnson also in game, 50 alongside Corey Wagner tonight. He had 20. The team numbers in the end where they fell. North Melbourne, they won the disposal count 372 to 348. The contested possession count 149 to 147 the way of North Melbourne. The marks inside 50 8 to 6 the way of Freo. The inside 50 count 60 to 48 the way of North Melbourne, which is a great turnaround off the back of what was a poor inside 50 count last week against the Eagles in Bunbury. The hitouts 40 to 37 Fremantle's way. The clearances 41 to 37 North Melbourne's way. They also on the tackle count by 11, and the free kick count, for what it is worth, was fairly even. The Dockers edged ahead 25 to 23 in the end. But those are some of the numbers that matter, and as Clint said, the one that matters most is the Dockers. They won the game by 6 points.
Who's in charge of the votes?
Do the votes this week, and it was pretty tough actually. Narrow margin in the game. But I thought the best four-quarter performer was Andrew Brayshaw for Freo, obviously. He plays for Freo.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
It's late.
Josh Tracy, he missed his shots at goal, as we spoke about with Corey Wagner, but on a night like this, to have 7 contested marks, and they were just what Fremantle needed at particular moments. Yes, Fremantle could have done without the kick out of bounds on the full late, but the fact that he was there and, you know, taking a really important mark, and there are plenty of scoring, I think, that evolved off those contested marks down the line and other places. 1 vote, Luke McDonald for North Melbourne. I thought he was very solid, very sound, gave a really good defensive cover and some offensive drive. And then for the Jeff Christian medal, the third Fremantle player we'll put in there is Jordan Clark with the 1 vote, with special mentions, which mean absolutely nothing for the Jeff Christian medal, but I've got to do it anyway. I really liked Bailey Banfield's game. I thought he was pretty solid. I thought he did a lot right. He was courageous, back with the flight a few times, got a hand in, got the ball loose at times when he needed to, and Pat Voss, anytime he kicked 3 goals and almost got the career best 4, he was hot for a period in the match also, so I'll give him a mention.
So just repeating to confirm, Brayshaw with 3, Tracy with 2, McDonald with 1, and Jordan Clark picks up the 1 vote for the Clint.
The Fremantle Brayshaw.
That's right.
In fairness, his father was North Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it's good to clarify. North Melbourne family.
Stick's been a while since he's played, but yeah.
It's been a little while.
There's been Brayshaws at all sorts of clubs all over the place.
Especially out here in the West.
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow, by the way, Sunday AFL from 12 in the East, 10 in the West. Then we'll have the Footy Forum, chance to have your say. That's from 1 o'clock if you're in the East Coast, 11 if you're over here in the West, and then full coverage of Port Adelaide versus Melbourne, and then West Coast versus Carlton to wrap things up. Just the 2 games on the Sunday as we continue through the bye rounds. Always feel for anyone that has to do a little bit of running. Plenty of cheer squads going about.
That was Nat Fyfe running off.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting. Like Oscar McDonald is the carryover emergency, so automatically, maybe I'm just a bit conspiratorial. Automatically, I think it was one of the talls under a bit of an injury cloud, or was a bit sore, perhaps. So I'll rack my brains for no purpose during the week and worry about that.
A couple more texts to go through. Dan in Kununurra, late text, great call. Listen to every game on ABC Radio. I'm a Freo fan, but I found myself cheering for the Roos tonight. I don't know what that's about. Strange having the Roos play home games in WA. It's like listening into a game played in limbo, which is cool but odd. Enjoyable game to listen to nonetheless, but an odd dynamic. It was... I'm prepared to say it was a little bit odd to see North Melbourne paraphernalia everywhere. We're still watching North Melbourne Kangaroos on the screens around here. There's a promotion for the next home game for the Kangaroos, which is North Melbourne's centenary game up on the big screen. I liked how the stadium looked in blue, which is not like this blue as opposed to blue and gold, which is not something we see very often. We might see on Wednesday night, depending on what happens in the State of Origin.
You're hoping, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But it was really good to actually have a game here where it's not completely one-sided with the crowd. I really enjoyed that when North got up and about. This was dominated by Fremantle compared to what happened in Bunbury, but there was still a huge chunk of North Melbourne supporters here tonight.
And 31,000 is a tick. I think COVID changed all of our perspectives, didn't it? I mean, it was during that period that Fremantle had their home game at the MCG. I think it might have been against Collingwood, maybe not, but I remember looking up at the MCG and seeing all the Fremantle slogans and colours and everything else and thinking, this is very odd. I think we got smacked in that game. So
we had a number of games here through that period. There weren't crowds for some of them, then they were low crowds, but where Eastern State sides are playing neutral games here, like home games, and it was really weird at the time. The Giants played a final here against, was it Geelong maybe?
Yes. I would always remember,
right, yeah,
I think the rest of the country woke up to the genuine passion that WA had for football when it was either a Tuesday or a Thursday afternoon, and Gold Coast played GWS, and there was nearly 10,000 here for it. And it was still, everyone was at work, people were still at school. We didn't have the COVID issue.
What's the average?
a lot more than 14,000. But I would also say, for anyone criticising North coming across here, I scribbled down some of the notes in regards to the averages. But if you go through recent games at the Docklands between these teams, the last two, no one's got over 20,000. So it's pretty impressive. So 18,000 in round 3. That was last year. And then what was the other one? 19,000 round 16 in 2017. So great crowd tonight, 31,000. Well done to everyone who turned up. Let's go down into the North Rooms. Akash photoed us there. Akash.
Thanks, Clint. I've got North Melbourne veteran Luke Parker with me. Luke, tough loss. What's the first reaction when you get so close but can't get over the line?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a bit disappointing, but at the moment we're just trying to play some really consistent football, and our main thing is to be in games right up until the end. And I think the last 7 weeks we've done that at three-quarter time. We've been in the games, and in the fourth quarter we've been in the game. So it's one that you look back on, and it would have been really nice to win. I think we spoke about it after the game. Probably the only stat that we lost was the scoreboard. So we're looking to keep tracking in the right direction. So we're trying to stay positive, but look, there's still work to be done, but look, some takeaways, some really, really good stuff from that game.
Is that the next stage, I guess, in the development and maturity of a young side, is turning those, the games where you win most of the key stats and get close, and actually turning them close losses into wins?
Yeah, obviously our thing is just to keep playing good football, and those wins will come. I think the more consistent you can be with your process, those wins come. And unfortunately, there's games that you get your process right and it just doesn't go your way on the day, and tonight was probably one of those ones. But if we put those numbers and play like we did tonight most weeks, I'm sure there'll be a lot more wins on the board.
Right, I know the team upstairs have got plenty of questions, so let's head up to Clint Wilden, Mitch Turner, and our experts Peter Bell and Cara Antonio.
Luke, we noticed at half-time after you lost momentum and Fremantle slammed on those 4 or 5 quick goals, I think it was you who addressed the team out on the field. What can you share from that conversation around what the message was to the lads?
Oh, it was just a little bit, I think, the second quarters when the rain started teeming down, and it was just more they just adapted a little bit earlier than us. I think they started surging the ball really well and getting out the back, and we probably still tried to overuse it a little bit and fumbled at times. So for us, it was more just about starting to play to the conditions. The defenders were still being pretty aggressive, but in those conditions maybe it was a bit more take back shoulder or whatever. So it was more just a bit of chat of us needing to changing a bit quicker than they did.
Luke, Cara Antonio here. Probably don't remember me, but I grew up playing footy with you down at the Langwarrin Junior Footy Club. And you're back wearing, obviously, the same colours. Do you feel, obviously, spending a number of years up at the Swans, do you feel like you're back at home in that strip now?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's nice to be back in the Langy colours. So I definitely remember you. I remember you used to smack all the boys and win all the best and fairest. So, it was pretty. I think we were probably pretty happy that you have to finish it under 14s or something back then. So, look, it's really nice to be back home with the family and mates who I grew up with. So, and be a part of their lives and enjoy this part of my career and hopefully turn things around a little bit and create some belief in this group. So it's an environment I'm really enjoying and making the most of.
No, I love watching and sitting back and watching what you've done in your career so far. I suppose the last question for me is a little bit of a different role here coming to North, playing a little bit more time forward, but we saw you go into the midfield in the back half of the game. Where do you play your best footy?
Oh, a little bit of a mix. I think at the moment we're trying to build just that connection with the mids and forwards, and at the moment I'm happy to play that role wherever they need me. And we've got some really good young midfielders, and I think it's give them the opportunity to get off to a good start and play some good footy. And if it goes off track a little bit, then at time get myself in to hopefully settle things down and get us back on track, which I thought I did tonight. And but the main thing is just to keep developing this midfield group because they're going to be the ones carrying us through for the next 5-10 years.
Obviously, North have committed to playing these games in Western Australia for 3 years. Luke, you've just finished year 1. How's it been and how organised had the club been to spend the week? It's not easy to take a whole footy program across the country. How's it all rolled out for you personally?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I think we had about 60, 70 people come across with players and staff and everyone involved. So we've put on an incredible show. Hopefully the Kangaroo fans of WA and the people who travelled across have enjoyed it. I know we have, especially a young group. It's really nice to get away and enjoy each other's company and keep building those connections. So to come back for the next couple of years at a minimum will be really exciting.
Luke, Mitch Turner here. Thanks for your time. Sorry about the close loss tonight, but in round 6 you were smashed by Carlton, 82 points, and since then 6 of your next 7 games have been decided by 10 points or less. You've won 2 of them. You drew with Brisbane. What was the change after that moment as a side?
Great question. I think it was more just getting back to really honing in on the football that we wanted to play and play to our system and really have the trust in each other. And it was pretty simple, but they were pretty much the basics that we went back to. And as I've said tonight, that we are trying just to focus on getting our process as consistent as possible. And I think, as I said, the games that we've been in, obviously 6 of 7 games, and I think the Collingwood one was the only one that was a bit of a blowout. And I think we're still in the game at 3/4 time. So we're giving ourselves chances to win, and we know that they'll slowly turn.
And I guess the question is, you've got the trip, as Peter Bell said, the next few years. Would you like to do the whole trip in the southwest region and stay in kind of one home base the whole time? It's probably not an option right now, but looking forward, would you love to do 2 games at Bunbury and try to get an advantage of that ground and kind of base yourselves there rather than playing at the genuine home ground of one of the 2 WA teams?
Oh, I haven't thought too much about it. No, we really enjoyed our time down south. It was great to be down there and we pretty much won the game, went for a swim after the game. So it was really nice down there. But then to come here and have 31,000 or whatever it was, there's such a great atmosphere at this ground. So it is really nice to come over here and be a part of that as well.
I would just say 306th game tonight, an All-Australian, 3 BNFs, a premiership. Have you ever got the keys to the city, or is that just a Cam Zurhaar thing?
No, he won't give them back. He's taking them, yeah.
Very good. On that note, we'll let you go. Luke
Thanks,
Parker,
guys.
Thank you so much. He won't give them back either, I reckon, Cam Zurhaar, getting the keys to the city last week. That was a genuinely entertaining moment.
He would pocket them and run.
I'm assuming
If you've
Luke
ever
was
met
a
him.
pretty good junior at Langwarrin as well,
Oh, he was-
as yourself.
It was great. No, we played. We played all our junior footy together 4 or 5 years down at the Langwarrin Junior Footy Club, and obviously he's had a little bit more of a successful career than me. But it's been nice to watch him go about his stuff. He was a great kid at that young age as well. You knew
Both
he was
turned into
destined for
club
greatness.
captains.
Yeah, well,
And all Australians,
I
club
suppose so.
captains, and you've done all. You just didn't get the premiership.
No.
I didn't want to say it. I had to.
He did. He came off the bench as a sub and won that flag as well, which was good. I watched that. So, a great young man.
Was it Parker who kicked the ridiculous overhead goal here at the Farmer Freeway?
Yeah, against West Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. That's one of the great
2018 first game.
First game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Buddy kicked 8.
And then bruised his heel. We didn't.
It didn't play for 3 or 4 months.
I think after that
It was the hard surface as it was at the time. It was certainly not the case tonight. Unbelievable finish for North Melbourne. They came back from trailing by 28 points at the 28-minute mark of the third term to get within 6 points, though Fremantle hanging on to pick up what is their 8th win of the season, and they will now play Essendon on Thursday night and then St Kilda again here at Perth Stadium. So big chance for Fremantle to really set themselves up, and they climb back into the 8s, or they should climb back into the 8 on that.
No, they do.
Yep, they do climb back in the 8. Sorry, my screen hadn't refreshed. Jumping ahead of the Western Bulldogs. They started the week in the 8. They're back in there for the moment. Thanks very much, everybody. Mitch Turner, Peter Bell, Cara Antonio, Martin Roth at the back pushing the buttons, to Laurie, who is here to help us all out, and to Akash Fododart downstairs, and Jesse back in the studio. GWS by 11 points over the Lions, the Cats by 95 against the Bombers, and then the Dockers just got it done against North Melbourne by 6 points. Don't forget, Sunday AFL will get us started tomorrow. Matt Clinch, 12 on the East Coast, 10 in the West, and then hopefully you can join us for the Sunday Footy Forum. Clint Wilden saying bye for now.
People who dare to imagine.
Making colour